Now it's time to meet the man behind this extraordinary mission. Please give a warm welcome to the one, the only, Pete Vargas.
What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Everybody good? Everybody good? Man, we are in. Hi to my Spanish-speaking room up there. I see you guys. Hi to my English-speaking room VIPs, both VIPs backstage, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all of the incredible groups that this is being streamed. Let me tell you what, if today's your first day, you're in the right spot. It's day 7, but you don't have to have the first 6 days. We've built this as a stand-alone every day. And I'm gonna make a bold statement today. In February or March, maybe it was April, I don't remember, but I got the vision for day 7. I got the vision for Sunday. And I have to tell you, what's about to be taught today is something that's not being taught enough. I rarely hear what's about to be taught today. If all you do is capture today with these 3 guests. We don't have 5 or 6 speakers, with these 3 guests. You won't just build the biggest platform that your heart desires. You will make a massive impact and have the profits that you desire in your own life. Today is, to me, one of, if not the most important day. Because it's not as much around the strategies and tactics, it's around the stuff underneath the surface that's getting in the way from you taking it to another level. Today might be the most meaningful day for me. And I just want you to know, welcome if this is your first day. I'm gonna speed through things this morning. But hey, how many days have you been here? Out of the 7, how many days have you been here? Facebook, backstage, online. How many have you been? 7. If it's day 1, say it. I'm fine if it's day 1. I don't mind if it's day 1. 6, 7. We had all different numbers. Yeah, every day. It's been unbelievable. What's been meaningful to you thus far? What's been meaningful? What's been impactful to you? Well, to me, to understand how to build your platform and the strategies and tactics that it takes to build your platform, that's what day 1 through day 6 was about. But now day 7 and day 8, tomorrow, the bonus day, I've got a major surprise gift for everybody watching today. Everybody watching today. I've got a surprise gift. And what I want you to know about this surprise gift is that today and tomorrow begin to take a little bit of a turn for a different direction that will be the thing that has you launch your platform. So if there were 2 days I was here for, I'd be here for day 7 and day 8. Today's day 7, tomorrow's the bonus day 8. And if you've missed anything, on Tuesday, at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, in 60 minutes, I will recap all 8 days in 60 minutes and have you walk away with your 5 biggest nuggets. I'll take all 40 speakers and recap it all in 60 minutes with video clips and nuggets and teachings. Tuesday will be the recap. So if you've missed anything, you're okay. Don't miss today. Don't miss tomorrow. If you're watching this on the replay, watch the whole thing. I'm excited because this is streaming everywhere. Tomorrow we'll be back at 2 p.m. Eastern. If you are not in our platform community group, go to platformcommunity.com. It will redirect you to our Facebook group. That's where prizes are given away. That's where homework assignments are posted. That's where all of the activity is taking place. And live stream, we're also live streaming this to our Spanish-speaking folks. So excited for the tens of thousands of people that registered in Spanish-speaking. Thank you for being here. And thank you to Dolores for translating for all of you this week. This is streaming a lot of different places. And remember, every day we're giving out prizes and awards. And on Tuesday, we will give out a lot. So I'm super stoked that you're here. This week, we still have probably about 15 of these speakers left to go. 15 of these speakers left to go. And like I told you, today and tomorrow, don't miss, but don't forget on Tuesday, we will do an entire recap of all 8 days. This will not be part of the recordings. You will want to be here live. We will identify the major speaker takeaways from every speaker, and we will give you implementable action steps so that when you leave this tour, you are prepared to go build a platform that makes a difference in this world. This Tuesday will be the Cliff Notes version in 60 minutes. So I want to implore you to make sure that you are here. The other thing I want to encourage you is there's going to be $50,000 of prizes given away that day. For people this week that have showed up live, people who have done the homework, and if you've tagged people down below, if there was a day to tag people, it's today and tomorrow. Trust me on that. For every day you're here live, you earn points. Every homework assignment, you earn points. Every person you tag, you earn points. And how you earn exponential points. And today, for anybody that shares, I told you you earn 10 points every time you share a stream to your friends. You just click the button share, and it says share to your friends. Today, we're 10xing the amount of points for sharing today and tomorrow, because today and tomorrow will be the biggest days that we have on this tour. So share, because you're in for a treat. As you know, we have a goal to raise $1 million for charity this week. And on November 12th at Platform Live, we will announce that total, that grand total, and we will issue those checks on November 12th at Platform Live. And so I'm really, really excited about that. Thank you for contributing and being a part of that. Anybody that's done VIP, bronze, silver, gold, thank you, because you're investing in you building your platform, Ginger, but you're also investing in these charities as well. So thank you for everybody that's making that and helping us in that. At the end, we got a cool homework assignment for everybody. So we definitely have a homework assignment. We got some incredible prizes to give out today, and we'll give out some more for today's homework assignment. And like I mentioned already, make sure that you share this with your friends. Share it. Share today, share tomorrow. Your friends will thank you. Your friends will thank you. And so what I want to remind you of is, what are we standing for this week? What are we standing for this week? This is what we're standing for. Your platform. Your platform. If your platform is helping people with their money, if it's helping people with their relationships, if it's helping people in their mindset, if it's helping them in their health, or their emotions, or their spirit, or their soul, or their business, or their sales, or their marketing, or their parenting, or overcoming adversity, or helping people today. I saw a story of a young man who got out of jail. His name was Justin Simmons, and he was helping other people be able to transition out of jail in a powerful way, because he didn't have that when he got out. And he started to help other people do that. It's a beautiful story this morning on ESPN. Like, your platform is intended to help other people. It's intended for you to take a stand around something. What are you taking a stand for? What are you fighting for? Drop that in the comments. Drop that in the comments down below. What are you taking a stand for? What is the message that you're fighting for? That's what this entire week has been about. That's what this entire week has been about. And I'm going to share something at the very back end today and just be really authentic and real around the commitment that you have to have when you're building your platform. But why do I want you to do this? I want you to build your platform so that you can control the microphone and change this world. When you control the microphone, you change the narrative. You change the narrative. You change the game. The wrong folks have control of the microphone. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? Because they've been committed to promoting, which means that they've been committed to building their platform. So because they have built their platform, they control the microphone. And in order for you to control the microphone, you have to build your platform. And so this week, we focused on these 6 buckets. We had speakers talk about 5 or 6 strategies in this bucket. We had speakers talk about 5 or 6 strategies in this bucket, 5 or 6 in this bucket, in your products, in the stages 5 or 6, in the revenues 5 or 6 times, and in the scale bucket 5 or 6 times. Every day we had a speaker for the past 6 days speak a strategy into each of these 6 pillars. It doesn't take one pillar to build your platform. It takes all 6 of these. I know this because we are about to cross the $1 billion mark in our students and our customers, in helping them over the last 20 years build their platforms. And the majority of that $1 billion and hundreds of millions of people being impacted has come in the last 3 years. The first 17 years was a preparation and a playground for me to figure it out, so you don't have to figure it out, so you can avoid the hard knocks and all of the pains that I went through in those 17 years. The bulk of the $1 billion and the hundreds of millions of people who have been impacted have come in the last 3 years for us. And it's no irony that in those last 3 years, we've been one of the fastest growing companies Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in the United States the last 3 years, cracking into the hundreds last year. Why? Because we understand how to do this. You've heard speaker after speaker after speaker say, this is the guy. No, this is the company. This company, Advance Your Reach, is committed to helping you build your platform so you can make a difference in this world. 70 to 80% of the speakers are customers or partners of ours. So this last week, I hope it doesn't go in vain because it literally is pulling back the curtain. And if you missed any of it, don't forget Tuesday, we will go deeper into it. Tuesday, we will recap it all in 60 minutes. I will literally go through the 5 nuggets here, the 6 nuggets here, the 5 or 6 here, the 5 or 6 here, 5 or 6 here, 5 or 6 here, 5 or 6 here, that all of our speakers communicated with some soundbite videos of those speakers. And in 60 minutes, I will cover all 6 of these, about 10 minutes per pillar. But today and tomorrow, we begin to focus on you and the things that have to get clear in your heart and your mind. You will look back and you will say Sunday and Monday were 2 of the most profound days that I've ever experienced in any virtual event ever. Ever. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on. That's what we're going to be focusing on. So today, check this out. Today, if you can wrap your brain around these 3 P's. You see, these aren't 3 P's that people talk about. Most personal development folks don't talk about this. They want you to understand sales and marketing and product creation and all of that. But I was reminded last night from my wife of what has allowed us to build our platform. And when our platform is chiming and in alignment and we feel the blessings of God on it, it's because I'm staying true to these 3 P's today. These 3 P's today, helping you understand the most important strategy is loving your people. Making sure that you're passionate about something and others. Making sure you're passionate about the problem you want to solve. I'm passionate about building your platforms because if I have 1 million of us out there building our platforms, there's 1 million of us that will be impacting 1 billion people through our platforms. I'm passionate about it because of the change that can come from it. I'm passionate about you because of what you have done for my mind, my heart, my health, my finances, my family. Yeah, I can tell you people who've impacted all of those. That's why I'm so passionate about you. And this 3rd P is purpose. It's purpose. The people who will build the most lasting platforms are people that have a greater purpose than themselves. The social media age to build a platform for ego and likes and because I want to be a celebrity, like just real talk, like that's the reason why the Pauls build their platform or all these people online build their platform. It's all about them. They don't really care about the person on the other end. They care about themselves. They care about their platforms. And let me tell you what, that's temporary. And if you go behind the curtain of a lot of that type of people, they're miserable. They're miserable behind the scenes because it's nothing brings you closer and makes you feel more powerful than when you're serving somebody else. Nothing brings self-love and purpose greater than when you're serving somebody else. And by the way, I'm not talking about you have to serve someone and it not benefit you. Listen, I want this to create impact in the world. The more you create impact in the world, the more you'll have all that you need. Zig Ziglar said, you help enough people get what they want, you'll always have what you want. Thank you, Daniel Moskowitz, for giving me that quote as a reminder on my desk every single day. Help enough people get what they want, you'll always have what you want. So today, these are the 3 words. Now let me tell you something, the full screen team. Let me tell you something about all 3 of these people. All 3 of these people have had to face some very, very, very difficult situations in order to continue to fight for building the platform that God has put in their hearts. They had to go through some very, very difficult situations and circumstances. And quite frankly, could have given up. This is my pastor right here, and he's about to talk, and he's one of my dear friends. And there isn't a person, I'm going to introduce him more properly here in a minute. But our church here in town went through 2 major things, including a shooting on campus that killed people. Why today, a decade later, is the church booming? Debt's down. People's lives are impacted. Why is that? How did he stay committed to building the platform in the midst of crisis, when all other churches that have faced one of the 2 things would come crumbling down? We faced 2 major things, and we didn't come crumbling down. How did this young lady continue to pursue a passion of hers, something she loves, after she was in the water and a shark bit her arm off? How was she back in the water 3 or 4 weeks later? I don't know, maybe 6 weeks later. And then taking that and building that platform to make a greater difference in the world. And how did this gentleman right here, who, if you will ever study his story, it will put you in tears because of the purpose he stands for and the obstacles that he's faced along the line. Quite frankly, one of the people that I believe has made one of the greatest impacts, not temporary, but permanently, everlasting impacts. But the stuff he had to go through, the trials he faced, the ridicule from the media, what made him stay grounded to continue to get that message out that was in his heart, whether it be as an entrepreneur, an athlete, or an incredible foundation that him and his family have. You see, all 3 of these today went through something really difficult, but they understood these 3 P's: the people, the passion, the purpose. Those 3 things, as they become a central core to your heart, you will build the platform and the profit will come in. Our first speaker today I want to bring on I got this download and I was hearing him on stage speak. And I'm looking at my church, which is right up the road, 10 miles right up the road, that went through 2 major things. One in the media, a massive scandal in the media, and a massive shooting that took place at our church. And the church shouldn't be there today. But today the church is booming. There's more people. The debt of our church has gone down from 30 million to under 10 million in the last 10 years. And I started asking myself the question, what is the most important thing to understand in building a platform? And it got clear to me that it's all about the people and it's all about loving people. And then I asked myself the question, who in my life loves people more than anybody else that I've had an experience of? And I wrote a list of 5 to 10 people. But the clear person who loved people in my life, that I experienced loving people greater than anybody else that I've ever experienced in my life, was this first man that you're going to hear from today. And he's going to help you understand the importance of loving the people you are called to serve. Would y'all give an incredible platform tour welcome to my good friend and my pastor, Mr. Daniel Grothe.
Pete Vargas, I cannot tell you how much I love you. I've known Pete 20 years now, a little over 20 years. And first off, just to be here on the platform tour is an unbelievable honor. I mean, what an embarrassment of riches with speakers Floyd and Emmett and Sarah Blakely and Tim Tebow later and Bethany later. Just to be here is an incredible honor. And I think only Pete Vargas could have gathered a crew like this. I've watched Pete for over 20 years. There's a special gift on his life to bring people together. So Pete, I bless you. I've been in hospital rooms and living rooms and done child dedications and baptisms and funerals, all the stuff of life. I've lived it with Pete Vargas, and I love him as one of my dearest friends on the planet. So Pete, thanks for having me here today. If you're on this call, my assumption, what I know about you without knowing you, is that if you're on this call, it's because you care. It's because you're invested, you're in the game, you're on your front foot. You're not passively waiting for life to come to you. You're not sitting back, you're leaning forward, you're on the edge of your seat, you're reading, you're asking good questions, you're paying attention. If you're on this call, it's because you care, you're a student of life. You care about how it goes. You're a student of your craft. And you're paying attention. You want to grow and you want to get better. And if you're on this call, it's because you want to make an investment in the world and see life thrive. So if you're here, you want to get better, but you're also here because you know you need wisdom. If you're on this call, it's actually an inherent sign of humility, that you want to grow, that you want to open yourself up, that you're willing to be a student, and you know you need wisdom. And I'm a pastor. I would never beat anyone over the head with the scriptures. You know, just trust me on that. But if you know that I'm a pastor, you're going to know that I care about the scriptures. And in the ancient Hebrew text, the Old Testament story, there's this section known as wisdom literature. You've got old King Solomon, the wise old king, who is known as the wisest man on the earth at the time. He's writing down, he's paying attention to life, he's telling us how life works. And so in the Old Testament, there's a story that Solomon puts in front of us. And we know that he was wise, we know that he had abundant crops, he was the wealthiest man on the planet at his time. He had bustling herds of livestock, and he was building a kingdom. Frankly, Solomon was the CEO par excellence. He's leading an economy, he's building a cabinet, he's subduing his enemies, he's doing all the difficult work of leading from the first chair. And some of you know what it is to sit in the first chair. Some of you know what it is to sign the front of the check, right? The people who work for us are the ones who sign the back of the check. And it's nice to sign the back of the check. You lay in bed at night knowing that someone else is thinking about this more than you are thinking about this. But for those on this call who know what it is to sign the front of the check, it's a different way of living. So Solomon's living a life where he's signing the front of the check. He's the CEO of the people of God. He's building a kingdom. He's leading an economy. He's leading a nation. He's leading an army. And Solomon says to us one thing that I want to put in front of you today. It's found in his wisdom literature known as Proverbs. The book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 25. I want you to get this in your soul. I want you to get this in your psyche. I want this to sear itself into your subconscious. Solomon says in Proverbs 11:25, a generous person will prosper, and the one who refreshes others will be refreshed. Let me say it again. A generous person will prosper, and the one who refreshes others will be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. All of you are leaders, you're entrepreneurs, you're investors, you're budding world changers. And the question that you're asking as you live is, how do I change the world? How do I make a difference? How do I, like Pete? Pete jumps out of bed in the morning with more purpose than any human being I've ever met. Pete has a motor that goes, and he's got another gear that I've never seen before, and it's because he has a purpose. He jumps out of bed in the morning because he knows what God made him for, and he's put all his chips on the table to do that work. If you're on this call, you're asking, how do I make a difference, and how do I change the world? And sometimes we're asking the question, how do I gain a competitive advantage? How do I build a platform? How do I make a mark? How do I go for it? And Solomon, he gives us the answer. Now, I want you to realize that we're living in a world that gives us two different options. All of us have two different options for how we choose to live. There are two different categories or two different, very different frameworks for how to make a difference in the world. Now, one framework has taglines like this: you got to get ahead of other people. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Nobody's going to give it to you, baby. And you got to climb the ladder, and you got to step on someone else's head, and I got to get mine, and I got to look out for number one. We all know that narrative. We all live in the world that says, if you're going to make it, it's going to be because someone else doesn't. If you want to win, someone else has to lose. If you want to get ahead, you've got to press someone else down. If you want to get out in front, you got to leave people behind. That's one option. That's one framework that the world puts in front of us. But I'll suggest to you that that's a framework of scarcity. That's a framework that's rooted in fear. That's a framework that requires that you live looking over your shoulder. It's a framework that means you have to be suspicious of other people. You're not able to easily trust because someone might try to take advantage of me. And it's a framework where you're hedging your bets and you're trying to protect yourself and look out for number one. It's a framework that's rooted in scarcity. But there's another framework. It's the framework I want to suggest to you today. I want to put it in front of you today. It's a framework of abundance. It's a mindset. The world, there are options. It's a big world. God has been good. God is the provider. God is the creator. We don't live in a world of scarcity. We live in a world of abundance. And Solomon is recommending to us this framework of abundance. He's rebuking the framework of scarcity, and he's suggesting to us and putting in front of us the framework of abundance. And he says in Proverbs 11:25, the one who takes care of others will be blessed. The one who refreshes others will find themselves refreshed. And then this guy, Jesus, comes along. I'm a pastor again, so you'll know that Jesus matters to me. And Jesus comes along and he says this famous passage. Maybe you don't go to church, but maybe you'll have heard this before. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is Matthew 22. The disciples come to him, the crowds come to him, and they say, teacher, which is the greatest commandment? Which is the greatest, what is the rule for living? And Jesus said, you'll have heard it said, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, with all your mind and with all your strength. And a second one is like it. Jesus gives a second commandment. And he says, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Bethany is going to talk about passion here, and she's lived that life, and it's going to be an incredible story. She's already logged on here. You're about to hear from Bethany, a story of passion. Tim is going to share a story of purpose, and nobody can live that out like Tim. But today I'm here to talk to you about people. Jesus says, love the Lord your God. That's the rule for life. And love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's unbelievable to me that Jesus would say something so absolutely countercultural. We live in a world that says, love yourself at risk of others. Love yourself, build up number one, and make sure you are okay, even if other people are left in the dust. But Jesus is the one who says, no, your neighbor, the people around you, the people at your work, the people that you don't even like, the Samaritans, all the people that annoy you and bother you and their idiosyncrasies, they get under your skin. Jesus says those people, love them as yourself. The way that you care for yourself, care for them. The way that you prioritize yourself, prioritize them. The way that you want people to take care of you, spend your life taking care of others. Just that way, he who refreshes others or she who refreshes others will be refreshed. We're here today talking about building platforms and how to make a difference in the world. And, one of the ways, the primary way to build a platform is to love people. And Pete Vargas, as I said, I've never met, he's a force of nature. He's one of my dearest friends, and he's a force of nature. I've never seen anyone like him. And I'm confident one of the reasons that God has blessed Pete and made him and Kim, his bride, so successful is because they have spent decades serving other people's stories. Think about it. I mean, the great irony. If I'm going to serve, the system of scarcity says you can't serve other people's story, because if you're spending your time on their story, who's going to spend time on your story? If you're building someone else's platform, who's going to build your platform? You'll be neglecting what you should be doing. So don't take care of others, take care of yourself. And I'm here to tell you, Pete Vargas is case in point that this is true. He has spent decades building other people's platforms. And what you've seen is the Lord take that and bless it and honor it and build Pete's platform. There's something about giving yourself away, and it changes the atmosphere. Living in a world of abundance and rebuking that scarcity mindset. Now, Pete told you a bit about our story at New Life Church in Colorado Springs. I've been at New Life coming up on 17 years. And when I got here, we were riding high. I mean, we were riding high. Our pastor was the president of the National Association of Evangelicals, a 30 million member group here in New Life, in United States. We had headquarters out in Washington, D.C. Our church is in Colorado Springs, but we would fly out and we would do press conferences and press releases. And when the Senate or the House were debating legislation on different things, they would call us and say, "What do Christians think?" So we were in the middle of all this, the power and the conversations, and Mel Gibson flew out on a private jet to release the Passion of the Christ at our church, and President George W. Bush Skyped in to our pastor's conference and just was hamming it up. We were riding high, and then we lost our senior pastor to this scandal. We bottomed out. Our hearts were broken. We'd lost a friend. We'd lost our boss, the person who hired us and brought us into this work at New Life, and so we were heartbroken, and we discovered in that time that we were $26.5 million in debt, and there's this great global recession happening. So we lose our senior pastor, 30% of our church leaves overnight. We are in $26.5 million debt, and then 2008 happens, a global recession, and we had to fire 44 staff members overnight. I mean, it was absolutely... it was just madness. It was crazy. We were heartbroken. Then we got a new senior pastor 10 months later, and our new senior pastor moved from Dallas and was coming in, and we were getting settled, and he was helping restore trust, and we were starting to feel the wind shift to our backs and push us forward back into that life that we knew the Lord had for us. We were starting to get our strength back. And then on a Sunday morning, another weekly Sunday morning, I'm standing at the end of our children's hallway. It's at 1 o'clock after our second service. We just had thousands of people. We're a 14,000 member church. Just had thousands of people on our campus. And all of a sudden on that Sunday, you hear the very worst sound you could ever imagine hearing anywhere, let alone a church. And it's pop, 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 pop. A gunman came on our campus with an assault rifle and 1,000 rounds of ammunition, was spraying bullets everywhere. He killed 2 teenage girls, Rachel and Stephanie, in the parking lot, 16 and 18 years old. They were sisters. Shot up their dad, ran in the building, and is spraying bullets everywhere. One of our security guards, a lady, she runs down toward him with a little handgun and ends up shooting him in the leg, and he's laying on the ground and takes his gun and blows his brains out in our children's hallway. We lost our senior pastor 13 months before. We fired 44 staff members. We're in a global recession. We finally get a new senior pastor. Now we've got a double murder-suicide in our children's hallway at church on a Sunday morning. We did not even imagine it could get any worse. And here we are now walking through the valley of the shadow of death. We were heartbroken. But our pastor went to a lunch with the mayor of our city, Colorado Springs, and some other city council members. And the city council, our pastor said, what are some of the needs in our city that we aren't aware of? What does the church need to know about that's happening in Colorado Springs? And so the mayor said, well, actually, we just had a report that came in that there are over 800 single moms and their children sleeping in cars at night at parks all around our city. So these are the working poor. These are not the indigent homeless. These aren't the people. These are people who are trying, they're working, but they're underpaid and they can't afford. They've been gentrified out of their apartments. And these moms, if they tell the city that, I don't have a house, foster care will come in and take their kids. What would you do? You would do exactly what they do. Go pull in under the cover of darkness. You're going to keep your babies and you're going to sleep in the car at night and just figure out how to keep going. So the mayor and the city council members told our pastor that there are 800 single moms and their kids sleeping in cars at night, every night in our county. And our pastor was heartbroken. He said, no, that is never going to be okay with me. He comes back, he talks to our elders, and he says, I know we can't change the whole story. We can't in a day take care of all 800 and get them affordable housing, but we've got to do something. And so our pastor and our elders, I'm one of the elders, the crew started to pray and say, Lord, help us to make a dent in taking care of these homeless single moms with their kids sleeping in cars at night. We found an apartment complex down in the most economically depressed part of our city. It was an asbestos-filled crack house, and it had been condemned. I mean, it was just on the verge. And we found it, and my pastor and our elders, we felt like the Lord was saying to buy that. Now, Pete told you earlier, tens of millions of dollars of debt. We'd just lost our senior pastor. We'd had a double murder-suicide. We'd fired 44 people, but we knew the Lord was putting this apartment complex in front of us, and we knew he told us to take care of these single moms that are homeless with their kids, get them a home. And so we started pursuing this apartment complex. Well, people in our congregation, outside counsel, even legal counsel, many of them said, you can't do this. You can't spend money right now on an apartment complex. You can't take on, no, financially, it doesn't make sense. Why don't you take care of your own house? Why don't you take care of your own church? Why don't you make sure number one is all right? And we knew by the Spirit of the Lord that the Lord was saying, no, start by taking care of other people first. So we took the risk. We told our church about it. People gave, we raised the funds, we bought that apartment complex, we took it down to the studs, we renovated it, and it's the most beautiful apartment complex you could ever imagine, with a park, a playground. All 18 units are filled. We just bought other units this last year. We bought 8 other units. Those are completely filled. And we're seeing these young moms and their kids come off the streets and out of their cars, and they're sleeping in a safe place, many of them for the first time in years. They're getting education. One of the moms just graduated from nursing school. Because she could live for free in our housing, she went and enrolled in the local college, just graduated nursing school, and she and her 3 kids are living in their own apartment that she's paying for every month. She's crushing it now. Her life has been changed. And it goes back to a word from the Lord that said, look, if you will take care of others, I will take care of you. If you will spend your life serving other people, I will serve you. And one of the great litmus tests for me of someone's character is how generous they are with people who can never do anything in return. None of these moms will ever pay us back or be able to, and that we don't even need that. We would never ask for that. But a great leader, someone who has figured out what life is about, is someone who has learned how to leverage all of their strength, how to leverage all of their power to serve people who have no power. Someone who knows how to use their voice for other people who have no voice. Someone who knows how to leverage their resources for someone who's completely unresourced or under-resourced. And Solomon, the great king of Israel, says, whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. And Jesus says, yes, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, but love your neighbor as yourself. One more story. There's a really successful home builder in our church, and he's been developing for 35 years. And he's developed each part of our city as it's moved north. And he came to us a couple years ago and he said, look, I've got these projects going on, and one project, I know what it's going to net me, and I've been building toward it my entire career, and here I am, and I'm finally on the brink. I've purchased the property. I'm about to do the work. And he said, but I was in prayer the other day, and the Lord said to me, give the proceeds of this project to the poor. And so he came to us at the church and he said, I want to give this to the Dream Centers. I want to give this to Mary's Home. I want to take care of widows and orphans. I want to send this to people who are less resourced. And so he took this massive project that he had been building toward for decades, and it was finally right in front of him. And he took all the proceeds from that. He had other projects going and he'd paid his bills. He was fine. He took all the proceeds from this massive project and he gave it away. And I was talking to him after that. I said, how can you do that? Surely that had to have been scary. Surely that had to, keep you up at night, and you were, should I, Lord? And you were asking questions. And he said, I have just discovered this. And I want to say 3 things to you as we're getting ready to end. He said to me, you can never outgive God. He said, that would have been a great project for me, and I'd done all the work, and I could have put that in my account, and fine. No one would have been mad at me, but I knew the Lord had challenged me. And he said, the Lord has challenged me for 30 years to be generous. And he said, after 30 years of trusting the Lord with my resources, he said, I've learned this. You can never outgive God. And so he said, I gave that, and somehow, some way, the resources just keep showing back up. Other projects keep unfolding in front of me. God's blessing. You cannot outgive God. That's the first thing I want you to hear today. The second thing that I want you to hear today is that strength was meant for service, not for status. We live in a world that is drunk on building our own brands, our own identities. And there's nothing wrong with building a platform, but the question is, what is the platform for? Is it so that I can just go away and be okay? Is it so that my children can be fine? Is it so that we can circle up the wagons and just make sure as long as number one's thriving, no. Strength, God will give you strength. And you're entrepreneurs. You're going for it. You're leaders. You've run your 5-year proformas. You've saved your money, and you're risking. But I want you to hear today that strength, the strength that is coming and that has come and that will come to you, strength is meant for service, not for status. And so at every moment when you find yourself tempted to let your strength be solely about you, remember that God has given you that strength to serve, not so that you can have status. That's the second thing. 1, you can't outgive God. 2, strength was meant for service, not for status. And then 3, if you will spend your life lifting other people up, God will lift you up. If you will spend your life lifting other people up, God will lift you up. A generous person will prosper. The one who refreshes others will himself or will herself be refreshed. And Jesus said, yes, love the Lord your God, but love your neighbor as yourself. And I have never met someone who lives this way who regrets it. There's satisfaction, there's fulfillment, there's joy. There are layers of riches that you could never even imagine. Layers that extend far beyond financial riches. Joy in your heart, peace in your mind, soundness of sleep, a sense of purpose and jumping out of bed in the morning. Why? Because there are people out there to serve. You can't ever outgive God. Strength was meant for service, not for status. And if you will spend your life building other people up, God will build your life up. So I want to ask you a couple questions here as we're coming to a close. Whose life can you immediately make better? Maybe one of your staff members. Maybe it's a neighbor just down the street. Maybe it's a single mom that's their kid's on your kid's soccer team. Maybe it's someone at your kid's school, a teacher that's on the brink. Whose life can you immediately make better? Why don't you start planning and dreaming and scheming about how you can do that? Another question is, who can you leverage your strength for? Who can you give an opportunity to? Pete Vargas, I've known him. He's given people opportunities for years. And because of that, the Lord keeps giving Pete opportunities. The final question is, will you begin to abandon that scarcity mindset? Will you begin to live in a world of abundance? If you will live in a world of abundance, you will find yourself deeply rich in all the right ways. So spend your life serving other people.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, will y'all give it up for my buddy and Pastor Daniel? Yeah, I see everybody backstage here. Just lots of hearts, lots of love. DJ, I so appreciate you being here, man. It was crystal clear to me. You remember the day I walked up to you in church and I said, you're supposed to do this, and there's a reason why. What Daniel said is, I've never known someone who had regrets when they served people all of their life and then their life came to an end. But the opposite, I do know lots of people who have regrets that serve their own self and their own agenda, and when the life comes to an end, I've met way too many of them that have way too many regrets because all of a sudden it was just about them and nothing bigger than themselves. And so, dude, I am so grateful for you to be here today. Thank you for that message. And it is, to me, the most important thing. Listen, some of you, cool, love God. Maybe you don't believe in God. Whatever your stance is on God, that's the greatest commandment for me. But the greatest commandment for me in my business is to love people. Is to love people. Like, I love God. Like, I love God, but I love people. And I don't always get it right, but I get it right more than I don't. And by loving people, that's how my platform has been built. Like, for Daniel to say what he said, like, I've championed other people's stories. And now as a result, God's blessed my story, championed my story in the world. And so this, to me, is the way to kick today off. DG, thank you for being here. Any final thoughts as you leave? I know you got to go do a wedding today.
Yeah, no, just this. The way you love God, Pete, is the way you love people. And so many people say, I love God, but you look at the track record of their life and no one else has been lifted up around them. And so these are not mutually exclusive. They're one and the same. You love God by the way you love your neighbor. And so let's spend our lives pouring our lives out for others. Sure love you, Pete.
Love you too, man. Okay, give it up for Daniel Grothe, everybody. Give it up for Daniel Grothe. I appreciate it. Hey, let's bring this slide up. I want to say this about Daniel. What he didn't tell you everything. Like today, New Life is not just building places for single moms. They've built hospital care, free medical care for moms, and they've served the problems in our city, led by our pastor, Pastor Brady, but also by the people who serve him, like Daniel. I have never been around Daniel where Daniel didn't know the person's name, the spouse's name, the kids' names, the pets' names. I was playing golf with Daniel one day, and of course, me and my buddy Dan are playing golf with him, and I think it was a lady that walked by, and obviously he knew the lady's name. And that didn't surprise us, but immediately he asks how the puppy's doing and calls the puppy by name. You want to talk about a demonstration of loving people? It starts by knowing a person's name and how you can solve a problem in their life. If you can know somebody's name and you can solve a problem in their life and you care deeply about them, I believe the rest takes care of itself. That's what I stand for. I stand for loving other people, and sometimes I get ridiculed for that, and it's okay. But to me, it is the single greatest strategy in building your platform. And now you look at a church that's bigger than it's ever been. The debt is, in the next couple of years, the debt will be non-existent. From $27 million in debt to non-existent in the next couple of years. To staff up and running, to multiple campuses around the city. Look at building a platform. I want you to see this. Multiple campuses. I don't know if it's 4, 5, 6, 7 campuses. When that all happened, there wasn't any. Think about how the platform has grown. What was the foundation? Loving people. Loving people. So this has everything to do with building your platform. It is the single greatest strategy. I don't even like to use that word, but it's the single greatest thing that you can do to build your platform is to love the people. All right, I'm excited about our next guest because if the first word we talked about was people, the second word that is so critical today is passion. Some of you do your homework assignments, I'm going to be really honest with you, and I feel the passion. And a lot of you do your homework assignments and I don't feel the passion. Well, if I don't feel it, do you think other people will feel it? If I don't feel it, do you think other people will feel it? Like, passion is contagious. Passionately speaking about something, passionate about the people you serve, like passionate about the problem you solve, passionate about the people you serve. That's important. And I'm so excited to bring our next guest up. You guys know her. Her life was represented in a powerful movie. She's an incredible human being, a mama. I know not too long ago, I think in April or May, I could be wrong, she just had another baby, incredible husband, and incredible family just overall. But this is a girl that is passionate. She is passionate about what she's taken into this world and about the things in her life that are important in this world. And so I want to ask all of you, backstage, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, would y'all give some love to Bethany Hamilton? Will y'all give some love to Bethany? Yeah! I'm going to turn around. What's up, Bethany?
Aloha, everyone. Hi, Pete.
How are you?
Oh my gosh, your guys' energy is amazing, and I wish I would got here earlier because the last 30 minutes or so has been awesome.
Yeah, what a message. What stood out to you just from Daniel? You got to hear the last 20 or 30 minutes, but what really resonated with your heart in what he said?
I think, I feel like every day, like my life, I have the thought of like loving my neighbor, but just hearing Daniel talk about just putting people first and just hearing how their ministry has just exploded because they sought to solve the problems.
Yeah.
So
I love that. I love that.
I just feel like too, there's so many kind of like, you can almost like drown or get overwhelmed with all the problems in the world right now. But I think when we have our eyes on God and loving our neighbors, like, and if that's the first and foremost, like most important thing to us, then we can like not feel as overwhelmed by all the problems in the world and try to start tackling some of them, or maybe specifically the ones that we're passionate about.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Man, there's so many things I want to ask you. So yeah, it was it April or May? You just had a baby, right? Was it?
Yeah, so I'm a mama of 3 boys now. I feel like I gotta pull up a quick photo to show you guys because they're super beautiful. Yeah, it's been such a whirlwind this last like 8 months, but really amazing. And so my youngest is now 8 months
8
old.
months, okay.
And yeah, he's sorry, I feel like I'm the proud mom. This isn't the best photo, but
be the
I'm
proud mom. I want to see
that
it.
just wants to show them off, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. Big boy.
Yeah, my little one is a big chunker. I'm like, my arm is like dying holding him.
Hey, so tell me, first off, it's amazing to me, like, just what are you passionate about right now in this world of like helping solve the problem? What's the thing that you're passionate about right now, Bethany?
Oh man, well, I would just say, I think there's a lot going on, and I'm sure a lot of people here today are just feeling like the weight of the world and just all the uncertainty and chaos. And I guess my passion, which I don't actually feel like I'm fully living it out in this moment today, but I'd say my passion is probably like helping young people, like teenagers or young adults, like believe in themselves, more importantly, believe in God, and just like combat kind of the cultural trends that can really leave them feeling empty and alone. And I just think there's so much need right now. And I also just say, like, more personally, like my boys, my family, my husband, and raising our boys in a beautiful way that helps them feel empowered and brave and eventually movers and shakers when they get older. And spending time in the ocean with them. I'm just always passionate about surfing and being in the water. And I also have like a little drive to like inspire young girls in surfing in particular, and action sports. I think there's a lot of cool things going on in the surfing world. So those are a few things.
No, I love it. Well, let's start with the surfing, because a lot of people obviously know the story, and if you haven't watched the movie, you have to watch the movie on Bethany's life. It is amazing. And Bethany, what was it? I don't know if I got it wrong. Was it 6 weeks later after losing your arm that you were back in the water, or was it, how long was it?
It was actually like 4 weeks and a couple days.
4 weeks. Like, you have to have a deep passion for something, because listen, a lot of people have a passion for something that's watching right now. And I think you epitomize the word passion. I think in the dictionary, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit for what you're doing in young people, because I get to hear the stories of the young people who are being impacted by you. So don't let any thoughts creep in on that. I know God has put a seed of progression for us to be able to do more, but you're doing such incredible things. And I look at the word passion, and your name would be by it. Like, how so many people out there will hit some roadblock, and no roadblock, like, even in comparison to the roadblock like you hit, and maybe there are some that hit a very difficult roadblock, but what would have you get back into the arena 4 weeks later that you could relate to everybody out there that's hitting roadblocks and hitting walls right now, Bethany?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, if anyone here today is feeling like you just can't get back on your board, which I find it hard to have that feeling after hearing Daniel talking and Pete, it's just so energizing being here in your guys' presence. But if you're feeling like you can't get back on your board, so to say, and like that feeling of just kind of drag, or, I think after I lost my arm, my world felt upside down. I felt like this wasn't supposed to happen to me. I had a lot of fears and just doubts. I didn't know what my future held. But it was shortly, I think, like God provided that hint of hope, which would have came around eventually if not. But I just need a little hint of hope to like start believing in myself today again. And I got to have a conversation with a man by the name of Mike Coots. He's still a good friend today. And he shared with me that he was actually out surfing the morning he came to visit me. And he's like, hey, I think you can surf with one arm. Like, it's totally possible. And all I needed was like a little light bulb of like, you can. And I hope that you can leave today knowing that you can, whatever it is, getting back on your board, turning your fears into faith, turning your doubts into I can mindset, and taking what feels like I can't to like having that hope and being willing to try. And that's what I got. I got the hope that maybe I could do it, and I was willing to try. And not only that, I also had like a great sense of peace that God had me right where he wanted me to be. And that was kind of like instead of going down a dark path of depression or just hate or frustration, anger, which I must be honest, like my dad dealt with that a bit, but after he saw me coming around, he eventually like joined in. And, God says in this world, you will have trouble, but what is our hope in? Our hope can be in that Christ has already overcome all sin, death, evil, and that is a gift for us to forever to hope in. So I had hope beyond the fact that I could maybe surf. My hope was in God, and my rock was in my faith and in this life that, my parents managed to kind of like raise me up ready for the chaos that I was to face. And so, yeah, less than a month later, I was paddling back out, giving it a go. And once I stood up on my board and rode it all the way to the beach, I knew that there was going to be no turning back. And I didn't know how far I would be able to take it. So that's been a really awesome journey, just pursuing my passion to surf the best I can and push female surfing in particular in a lot of different arenas. And Pete mentioned my film. There's Soul Surfer, the Hollywood version, but you guys got to check out my documentary, Unstoppable. If you're feeling like a little like uncertain of yourself, go watch it. You'll get fired up. It's somewhere online. Just Google search it, But yeah, I'm stoked I got back out there, got back on my board, and I'm still surfing today as a mom of 3, and I love it. Kind of semi-pro, but I don't know where I'm going to take it in the next few years because there's a lot of passions in my in my line of fire, and I'm gonna try to hone in on a couple.
Well, I think it's amazing that you could overcome something like that, and after a few weeks later, like I could maybe say a few years later. I think a lot of us will take a year off or a couple years off because we get hit by a brick wall. And Bethany, I want to encourage everybody to go watch that documentary, Unstoppable. But what are those principles for you that help you become unstoppable? Because I want people to become unstoppable around the thing that they're passionate about in this world. And I believe that the greatest messages, the greatest stories, the greatest inventions, the greatest products, I believe the wealthiest place today in the world is the graveyard. Because people weren't able to, they gave up on it. They gave up on their dreams, their stories, their inventions, their products, their services, their passions because of hitting a brick wall. And I want people out there to be unstoppable when they leave here. So I want everybody to go watch it, but talk to us of what you feel makes a person unstoppable.
Oh man. Well, yeah, I would say my 13-year-old self, sometimes I'm in awe of her. But I know it took time for me to figure out doing life with one arm and overcome any fears and doubts. And, it's common for all of us to face these sort of things, but how can we get to the other side? How can we keep going? How can we paddle back out when like the current is so strong and in my world, I just duck dove like 50 waves and my muscles are just melting and I just like can't do it anymore. But I like have that hope that, oh my gosh, there's another good wave waiting for me. So I keep going. But for me, especially in my teenage years, it just started to become this life of adapting. Like I had to adapt. I had to figure out how to do things differently. It was like, yes, it was going to be hard. It wasn't going to be easy, but I knew that it was possible. And so I think one of the most propelling things that got me off my, back onto my board was just being grateful to be alive and appreciative. I really was just thankful that I still had more life to come, and I knew I could have died that day. And I think just the simple thing of being grateful, whatever it is on a daily basis, so that when times get hard or that like challenges that much more like arduous, we're able to just hone in on what we're grateful for. I also just directed myself. I set out my goals ahead of me. I chose a healthy mindset. I even put boundaries protecting these goals and the direction that I wanted to go in. So in my teenage years, it looks different than I did now, but you can think of the typical problems teenagers face. I put boundaries protecting the things that were most important to me. And even things like directing our health so that we have the energy to charge and bless others, as we adapt. I also like the people I associated with, my community. I mean, the fact that you're here today with Pete and all his like-minded friends, you're associating yourself with people that you want to dream big with and be inspired by and push forward towards. I just think like for me, I was always seeking after like my tight-knit group of friends that believed in me too. I had my family, but I sought after coaches. I was willing to learn and be teachable and learn from my mistakes, grow, and kind of be honest with myself when I made a mistake, or, you know, specifically in surfing, like the mistakes are pretty obvious when it comes to, you know, maybe if you have a little failure or a little fall off your board, like you can kind of like pick on them and grow. So that's a few things. Yeah. And just having a persevering mindset too. I wanted to share a quick verse with you guys. It's Proverbs 3:5, and well, this isn't actually about persevering, but just, I'm spacing on the verse I wanted to share, but I'm going to share Proverbs 3:5 and 6 because it's a good one anyway. But trusting in the Lord with all your heart and leaning not on your understanding, but in all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. But before that, it even says like living out a life of faith and trusting in the Lord and his promises. And I think when our eyes are on the Lord and his promises, then we're able to persevere because we have our hope in beyond ourselves and beyond the things that are swaying with the world. Right now, it's so obvious how much is just the wind is blowing everyone to and fro, and it's like a roller coaster ride, but we have to sometimes turn off the noise. Yeah. Slow down, be present, be in tune with God, more importantly, and ourselves and the people around us that we're sharing each and every day, and just trust in the process and keep persevering. So
I love that. So Bethany, one of the things that I'm most passionate about, I'm passionate about helping 1 million individuals, entrepreneurs, and organizations build their platform for a purpose greater than themselves in every domain, every niche, every industry. I am passionate about 1 million people building their platform and reaching 1 billion people. And I believe those 1 million folks can all uniquely solve one problem. And if 1 million people are solving one problem, that's 1 million different problems that are being solved in some way, shape, or form. That's what I'm passionate about. We have lots of parents out there right now. Why are you so passionate about transitioning into your platform? We talked about your personal life and your passion for surfing and hitting a brick wall and not allowing something to be stripped away that you're passionate about personally, but now professionally or in a calling. What makes you so passionate about young people? I've gotten to hear this just with the 3 of us on a Zoom meeting, and it moved my heart, but you're speaking to a lot of parents out there. Why are you passionate about really helping and serve young people right now?
Yeah, I think our younger generation is facing more than they've ever faced as far as challenge, self-identity issues, dealing with like the online world and peer pressures, and it's chaos and it's crazy, and there's children that are addicted to all kinds of bad things online, or maybe they're just on screens all day long and they're not having enough time with their loved ones. They're kind of being neglected. They're being told all kinds of things, and it's a like wild world we live in. And I think our young people just need to be supported that much more. Not only young women, but young men too. Now that I'm a mom of 3 boys, I notice how much female empowerment there is out there. But what about our little boys that are going to become young men? We need like strong husbands and fathers in the future. And there's just this, I think this deep need for our young people to be supported, given the right tools to deal with their lack of identity, like screen time, peer pressures, what they're being told out in the world. It's just a lot. And I feel like it's definitely a passion point for me. And also I want to teach young people how to live healthy. I think a lot of young people are now facing disease so young, and I'd love to just encourage them in that. But all these different things that I'm already doing in my like online courses, but getting it into the young people's hands.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So, hey, one more question, and then I'm going to let you give any final thoughts to everybody out there. So everybody watching wants to build a platform. They want to serve young people, couples, business owners, moms, dads, kids, adults, you know, everything. They want to help with finances or health or mindset or sales or marketing. What do you think are the most important things that have allowed you to passionately build your platform? What do you think are, 3 to 5 things? I've asked a lot of our guests this week, what are the things that are most important to really building a powerful platform today in this age?
Oh man, I think one thing that we need more of is just honesty, like being honest and real with people. And I don't know, I think the term vulnerability is thrown out a lot. And I think in some sense, having a little bit of vulnerability depending on the space that you're sharing it in. And I think being willing to ask for help. I've had to ask for help a lot, and I'm going to continue to ask for help. And just being persevering and being passionate, like letting it be focused on the things you're passionate about, because when you're passionate about it, you'll be able to persevere for it. So those would be my 3. Well, get back on your board, sort of.
Yeah, get back on the board. I think there was 4. I heard honesty, I heard ask for help, I heard passion, and I heard perseverance. So 2 H's and 2 P's. 2 H's. I always think in frameworks, Bethany. Hey, as we kind of conclude today, and I'm so grateful for the passion that you exemplify in your personal life, but I also am so grateful for the passion that you exemplify in your professional life and in your calling and what you want to do to make this world a better place. What's your final thoughts to everybody out there as we are, like today's day 7, tomorrow's kind of the final day. What's your biggest wisdom that you want to give to everybody as they're leaving the platform tour?
Yeah, I think we're living in a time where, specifically on this subject, just being just putting on your adaptive mindset. Like there's so many things that are constantly moving and changing right now, and just being willing to adapt and keep pushing forward. And then I don't know, I just really appreciated what Pastor Daniel said in the last 30 minutes, just putting people first and loving others. And I know Tim Tebow's coming up soon, and I love how he talks about where your identity lies in. That's going to be so empowering. And but I think you all have the ability to get back on your board. And in my life, I paddle through the current, and I paddle through the big crazy waves and the poundings, and I just get back out there and I keep going. And how I do that, it's by adapting and trusting in God, and just being willing to put myself out there and give it a go.
I love it. I love it. Bethany, thank you so much for being with us. I know you're probably ready to get into the ocean, and I'm jealous. So I'm going to get my wife, and we're going to come out there and hang with you guys sometime in Hawaii. So you can count on that.
Yes, we need to go surf.
Yes, I'll learn how to surf, but I'm so grateful for your passion that has been contagious to millions of people in this world, and that passion that has been contagious to everybody on the platform tour. So thank you so much. We're so grateful for you. Hey, everybody, will y'all give it up for Bethany Hamilton? Give it up, give it up, give it up. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, this is what I want to say, and I just want to say this before we move on. You hit roadblocks. You hit roadblocks when God puts something big in your heart and you want to go take it to the world. It's not going to be easy. But the more passionate and the more committed you can get to it, the more that you can actually meditate on what you are called to do. Listen, you heard Pastor Daniel talk about a shooting and a scandal at our church. This church is one of the most known churches for worship, and it should have shut it down. That brick wall should have just shut it down, and it would have shut most people down. But now it's a church making a great impact in the city. I woke up this morning and I saw my church on TV. I'm like, they weren't on TV 10 years ago. And they've got all of these things for moms and kids and all of this stuff around the town. They didn't let that obstacle of a scandal and a shooting on our campus stop the movement of building the platform to reach the city. Can you imagine having an arm taken from something you're passionate about, and step into the water 4 weeks later? But she did, and it came with resistance. There is resistance, and there's a spirit at play that wants to stop you from being able to get that message out there on a bigger scale. And there will be resistance. How do I know? This week, there's resistance. My prayer group, I pray with a group of entrepreneur men every single Monday. And they sent me a text this morning because they understand the roller coaster that it has been this week with technology. When you're streaming this to millions of people, and tens of thousands of people register on the English side and tens of thousands on the Spanish side. And you're trying a lot of new things in the background to make sure that you can stream this. And it's a first-class experience for everybody. And then opening day, you're 19 minutes late and you lose thousands of people because of a tech issue. And I can't tell you all of that. I can't tell you everything that's happened this week, but it's been a roller coaster. But what do? You stop for a moment and you say, I'm not going to let that resistance prohibit what God wants to do this week. I'm not going to allow that to impact everybody. So what do? I call my team and I say, I know there's thousands of VIPs that have invested $67 to be backstage with us and give to the charities that we're giving to. I said, they made an investment this week. My heart hurts for everybody. I said, here's what we're going to do. Last year, we had John Maxwell and Jeremy Camp and Lecrae and so many other great speakers. I said, last year we sold this bundle for $997 and it all went back to charity. I said, everybody that signed up for the platform tour, whether they've made an investment or not, I want you to deploy an email today and you gift that $997 gift to everybody. And if they have it already, they can gift it to somebody else. Team said, got it, Pete. And I said, you get everybody on our team and every single VIPs, did y'all get a phone call from us this week? Did y'all get a phone call from us this week? Every single VIP that we had their phone number, we picked up the phone and we apologized. You see the chat lighting up right now. Well, we must have not had your number, but not all of you put your numbers, but 80% of the VIPs put their numbers. Every single one of them got a phone call from us and an additional gift from us on top of what we did for everybody else. Do you know what hitting that brick wall on Monday, plus I could tell you plenty of other stuff that has almost made this not a possibility, which would have impacted me, but it would have had an impact on the tens of thousands of people that registered to be a part of this week? If I would have just been like this, forget this. Like resistance comes. There's a spirit. Our fight is not against people. We're called to love people. The greatest strategy for building your platform is loving people passionately. We're called to love people. Our fight is not against people. Our fight is against the spirit of resistance and the spirit of a darkness that wants to prohibit us from getting our message out to the world and making an impact in the lives of people. And it happened on opening day. But we had to adapt, and we had to figure out how to make things right. And that's where we're at today. In about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm bringing our next guest up, And listen, just like we did a couple of times this week, this is only going to be streaming in the platform community group of people who've registered and are VIPs. So if you're watching this on Instagram, you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching this in one of the dozen speakers groups that the speakers are streaming it into their groups, you need to go to platformcommunity.com. Go to platformcommunity.com. That will redirect you into the event page for this group. I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss this next person. Every person that I prepared for this week, Emmett Smith, Floyd Mayweather, Sarah Blakely, Grant Cardone, Damon John, as I prepared the Q&A time, none of them had me crying downstairs at my desk. This one did. It could be the most profound thing that all of you hear this week. Because you want to talk about somebody who's fought to build his platform and make a difference in this world, and the resistance and the things that he's walked through and staying true to it. You're not going to want to miss this. Go to platformcommunity.com. I'm going to bring that guest up here in just 1 second. It will be our final guest today, and I'm so stoked about it. I need to get my phone ready. Guys, can we bring this up really quickly? I want to say this to y'all. I'm so grateful for Pastor Daniel talking about people. I'm so grateful for Bethany talking about passion. So grateful. And now we're about to step into the third word, which is purpose. And Bethany has said, Pete, for everybody who is making an investment in your silver, gold, your bronze, silver, or gold packages. These are a lot of the speakers from this week have donated back their courses, their master classes, their expertise, their knowledge. There's 3 packages, bronze, silver, and gold. And 100% of the profits that come from this week go back to charities. They go back to charities. And so Bethany has said, I want to dedicate my Live Your Passion with Bethany Hamilton, Bob Goff, and Mike Coots. My wife just said Bob Goff. Some friends of ours are with Bob Goff in Scottsdale. He's written some of the most powerful books out there about loving people. And so Bethany, I'm excited, is including this in all 3 levels. And I just want to remind you really quickly, I'm not going to take a lot of time today. I'm so grateful for what the speakers have donated. Look at what our speakers from this week have donated. Over $30,000 of their courses around the specialty that has allowed them to build their platforms. So you got every specialty from the 6 pillars of building a purposeful platform in our world. These are what they've donated, over $30,000 worth of resources bundled into a bronze, a silver, and a gold package, bundled in to these 3 packages. So grateful for what they have done. And they've done this for 2 reasons. You will never see something like this so powerful at such a minimal investment. Because on Wednesday, I can no longer have all of their courses as a give back, because they will take those courses to the market, and those prices that you see at Platform Tour Cares, those are the actual prices that they sell those courses for. Those are the real prices that they sell those courses for. And so on November 12th, we're going to be issuing all of the profits back to charity at our big live event. We're going to be issuing all of the checks. Last year, we gave a check of $350,000, $250,000, hundreds of thousands. And our goal this year is to give back $1 million. And so I want to encourage you guys tonight, the amount that the speakers have donated into these packages have literally doubled through the course of this week, because they're seeing the impact that we're having. And so tonight, all of these prices will go up. Each one will go up $100, because we want to be able to give more to charity. And all of these will go up $100 tonight. And then on Wednesday, all of them will go away. Not some false scarcity. The speakers can't give their courses away as give back indefinitely. So I've agreed to all of them that we would run this through Wednesday. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't taken advantage of that, to take advantage of that. You can read all of the details at platformtourcares.com. At platformtourcares.com. I told you, I felt like I knew this man right here just from what I see on TV, what I see on his social channels, what I see in the impact that he's having in this world. And this Tuesday, I had promised his team, who has an amazing team, I said, I'll have the questions to you. Just give me till the end of the day, because we just had the technical difficulty on Monday. And we were really cleaning that up and calling all of you and making sure that we took care of you. And so Tuesday evening, right before dinner, probably around 3 in the afternoon, I started doing research. And it blew my mind away. I was absolutely blown away at this man's story, at the impact that this man has had, at the impact that he continues to have. And I tried to put myself in his shoes, because I know that there's been resistance, and I know that there's been opposition. I know that there's been things trying to prohibit him from speaking a message that he wants to get out into this world. And a lot of you know him as a professional athlete, Heisman Trophy winner, number 15. But what a lot of you don't know about him is he's an extremely successful commentator today, a successful entrepreneur today, and he's built a foundation in a really powerful way where a lot of foundations could learn a lot from them, making a major difference in this world. So much so that I've been doing so much research on his foundation the last several days, last week. And so he has really built his platform in multiple different ways. And I'm asking all of you backstage, all of you online, all of our Spanish-speaking, English-speaking backstagers, folks in the platform community Facebook group, would you guys give so much love and so much respect to Mr. Tim Tebow?
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Let's go.
Man, I got to tell you, I've been listening for a while. It's awesome listening to Bethany, but dang, just being able to hear you and your passion come through in your heart. I feel like every time you start to speak, you get emotional, and I love it because it shows how much you care about every single person that's tuned in, and every single person's message, and every single person's opportunity, and their passion and their voice if they use it. And I love it. So I want you to know, you got me fired up right now, dude.
Dude, well, you got me fired up this week, man. I was in tears, bro, because I'm like, this dude's got, and we'll get to this guy's got a word in the dictionary, he's got a law, and he's got a rule all about him. And some of that coming with resistance too, dude. Like what, I mean, speak to that. I know this isn't like, you heard me talk to Bethany about resistance. Our first pastor, my pastor today, was here, and he talked about the resistance that the church faced as they went through a scandal and a shooting. And what they did is they chose to love people and invest into the community. And Bethany talked about her resistance, but how she stayed passionate. I mean, resistance is part of it, isn't it, Tim?
I've never met, read, saw, or looked at anyone that accomplished anything great in their life that didn't have major resistance. And most of the people that I've studied, that I've watched, that I've looked in scripture, that have accomplished amazing things, had just incredible amounts of adversity, resistance, heartbreak at times. And what they did was they continued to choose courage, to choose boldness, to choose that they were on a mission, that they knew that their mission was important, that their mission was possible, not because their attributes were incredible, but because their God was incredible, and that they were willing to continue to fight and to stay in the mission. And literally the first thing that comes to my mind when you're saying that is John 16:33, where Jesus is talking to his disciples the night before he goes to the cross, and they totally don't get it. And he looks at him and he says, "For in me you have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world." He literally said, "Take heart, I've overcome the world," before he overcame the world. He was doing it the next day, but he said it with such conviction, passion, knowing that it's going to happen. Actually, in the Greek, he said it in the perfect tense, which is a past tense, saying that the results are continuous, permanent, and never changing. So why can we take heart when we have adversity? Because he took heart when he had adversity, because he overcame the world, because we know we're on the winning team, because we know the battle has been won. We have to keep fighting. So we're not asked to go win the battle. We're asked to keep fighting. Like, could you imagine if you were in a game and in that game you were losing? And sometimes it feels like that in life. It feels like we are losing, right? Sometimes it feels like, dang, man, there's so much adversity. There's just so much hardship. There's just, honestly, sometimes so much suck. But if you knew, if someone was to tell you, hey, you know what, it's halftime and I know we're losing 35-0, but hey, I promise you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we come back and win. Do you know what happened? Everybody in the locker room, you wouldn't be hanging your head. You'd be like, dude, like, who's going to make the play? This is going to be awesome. We would be so fired up because it would be an incredible comeback, right? We would be focused on the win. We would be focused on the positive. We'd be focused on making the play. Well, you know what? In our lives, in our spiritual lives, we know that we already had a Savior come through that defeated death, that defeated shame, that we win. We just have to keep fighting. So when you face adversity, let's have the mindset of it's halftime. We just got to keep playing as hard as we can because our MVP has already come through and won the day. So why can we fight through adversity? Because we can take heart because he overcame the world.
Man, gosh, I'm all ready. Let's go. Like, come on. Like, there's only one person who's got me out of my seat this week now. Now it's the second. But gosh, I'm ready. I'm ready. Because the reality is, you heard what happened on Monday. Like, I right away faced adversity right away out of the gates. And it didn't surprise me. It took me back to the times I had the big retreats as a youth pastor. And it's like things go wrong, but it's how we respond to them, man. It's how we respond to them.
And by the way, if you don't have adversity, we should all probably question something, right? Because we might not be doing anything. Like, one of my favorite quotes from Winston Churchill is, he says, if you have enemies good, it means you stood for something at least once in your life. And you know what? I just didn't understand that for so long. But this was at a time in his life when pretty much the entire world hated him because they didn't get it. All the allies thought that he was going to lose the war for him. And obviously the opposing side hated him because they were his enemies. And so everybody hated this dude. But he actually, and now everybody talks to him with such, adoration and love for him. But at a time, most people hated him. And he says, hey, if you have enemies, good. Because it at least means you have the courage to stand for what you believe in. Right. And so many times I feel like, and it's been hard for me, to be honest with you. I hate having enemies. I'm a people pleaser. Like, I want people to like me. I want people to be my friends. I remember when I first started to get a little bit more well known, and I would started to get criticized around the country and stuff. And I would go to my dad and I'd be like, Dad, like, they just don't understand. Like, Dad, if they even took the time to get to know me, they would like me. And I remember us talking, he was like, yeah, but some people probably just won't want to. They don't care to, right? And it made a big shift in my mind of, okay, instead of searching for people to like you because we could be friends, because we buddy, because we like the same Facebook page or Instagram page or whatever, we have things in common, I kind of switched my mindset. Okay, instead of getting likes, because so much of today is about likes, right? On social media, how many people like your post? How many people like what you have to say, right? We live such a life based on likes, but that's so shallow. And so I kind of switched my mindset to, what if I had a mindset that was based on respect, of earning people's respect, not their likes? Because if I say one thing people disagree with, I'm going to get crushed, right? But it's on such a shallow level. But if you earn and you search for people's respect by the way you live, by the way you give, by the way you care, by the way that you love, that respect is harder to get, but it's also going to last so much longer. And so for me, I really made a very concerted shift in my mind of saying, you know what? Likes are going to come and go. I make a good play, you're going to have a lot of likes. I throw a pick, people are going to boo me. But for what really matters, I would rather search and earn and try to get people's respect in their likes.
Bro, and I love that. Like, that's so meaningful to me today, Tim, because I feel the same way. I'm like, if they just got to know me, like, I know they might not think that I can love everybody, but that's what I stand for. I stand for loving everybody, but that's actually something that makes people not like me because they think that's phony or fake or like, that's not even a concept. You can't love everybody. Well, I'm called to, that is this, you know.
But that's also not understanding the concept of what real love actually looked like, because they say, Pete, you can't love everybody because you don't know them, and therefore you don't have an emotional attachment to them. And so we don't really understand the greatest forms of love.
Wow.
Is yes, love can be emotion, love can be a romance, love can be all those things. But the greatest form of love, in the Greek, there were 4 types, and the most admirable was agape. And it's the sacrificial love, and it's God's love for us. But the best definition I've ever heard of agape is to choose the best interest of another person and act on their behalf. So I don't have to know somebody to love them. I don't have to even like somebody to love them. I don't have to have an emotional response to somebody to love them.
Wow.
Because I get to choose their best interest. I get to act on their behalf. That's what you're doing. You don't know everybody that's on this call, but you are choosing their best interest by trying to put something together that can support them, that can inspire them, that can encourage them, that can share God's love with them so that they can go take that to the world. So you are choosing their best interest and you are acting on their behalf. Therefore, you are loving them, right? We think that that to love someone, I have to always know them and we have to have this common bond. That's not true. We already have a common bond because we are all created in the image of God. Right? We already have a common bond because we know that Jesus died for every single one of us. We already have a common bond because we know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that just not just for me and you, but it's for every single person that has ever been created, like period. That's for every single person. So our common bond doesn't come from knowing each other. Our common bond comes from knowing God. And therefore we know that we are all created in his image. We were created in love, by love, and for love. And he has a great plan for every single one of us. So even if I personally don't know someone, I can still choose their best interest and I can still act on their behalf. And therefore, I am loving them.
Wow. Guys, like I haven't even got to question number 1, just for the record, everybody. And I haven't even got to question 1, and I'm ready, man. Like it's so much perspective. Even what you said about respect, I'm starting to learn that people might not agree with me, but when they respect me, it's deeper than if they like me. If I try to get them to like me, I actually compromise what I stand for in life. But if they respect me, they might not agree with what I'm saying, but they have a respect that I'm taking a stance, Tim.
But Pete, let me ask you this. If you had a long enough conversation with even the closest people in your life, you're going to get to a place where you disagree. Listen, my dad's my biggest hero, my biggest role model. The person that I want to be like most besides Jesus is my dad. But if we were to sit in the same room and talk about stuff enough, we're going to disagree. We're going to shoot. We grew up liking different NFL teams. We disagree on different things. He's still my biggest role model, but we're still going to disagree, right? You can be friends. You can love people. You can be close, but disagree. But because we have so much respect, we can disagree and we can learn from each other. Like I'll still, when I'm studying scripture, when I'm looking at stuff, I'll still go to my dad to ask him over and over and over again what he thinks. What do you think about this? Because I respect him so much, I want to know every single thing he has to say, and we can disagree, but it can be in a very healthy way. And I feel like that's one of the things right now in society that it's really hard is having the ability in the space to be able to disagree and then still be able to continue to do life with each other. Listen, like it's okay to disagree. That's not the end of the world if we don't make it that way.
Wow, that's incredible. All right, question 1, everybody, because there are a few that I am going to get to that were some of the deeper moving ones for me. But Tim, you're only 34 years old, right? 34? Are you 34?
I'm 34. Just, yeah.
34. You've built a powerful platform in sports, broadcasting, an amazing foundation that I've obsessed with this weekend. And my question is, why is building a platform so impactful or so important to you that you would want everybody out there that's wanting to build their own platform? Why is it so important?
Well, I would tell you that's not necessarily the way I think about it in my mind. The way I think about it in my mind is with every single thing that God has given me, every opportunity is to make the most of it. Whatever my hand finds to do it with all my might. And it's not necessarily thinking about building a platform. It's thinking about whatever that God has gifted me or shared with me or loaned me for a time being, a platform, an opportunity, a gift, right? Is to use it as best I can, is to maximize those talents and abilities, because we only have a short time. We only have a short chance to really make our lives count, right? And so for every single person that is thinking, hey, I want to grow my platform, like, don't think about it in a way of, I want to grow my platform so I can benefit me, because by the way, people are going to watch and they're going to be like, oh, if this is overly benefiting you, like, I'm not necessarily that interested. But if it's benefiting everybody, right? If it's benefiting society, if it's benefiting the world, then people are going to want to buy in more. And so if it's buying into, for example, I never want to get outside of my mission, right? And I believe my mission is to love God and love people as best I can. And then I also believe my micro mission is to fight for people that can't fight for themselves. Wow. And even when I get outside of what is my so-called mission of sharing and teaching and loving and the foundation work of helping people in need, even in the business aspect, I still want that to come into play. So if you look at a lot of companies that I'm involved in, whether that's clean juice, it's because everything's organic and I want people to be healthier. If it's restore wellness, it's because I want people to be healthier. If it's with D1 training facilities, it's because I want people to be healthier. And so I don't try to take, even in business, I still want to bring the ministry into the business, right? Wow. And I want to do things that I'm passionate, because we have such a short time, such a short chance, right? And so when I say that's my mission, I don't want it to be, oh, that's my mission on this day because I'm at the foundation. No, it's my mission every day, regardless of what I'm doing. Just because the business or the platform you're using might change based on the day, what you're doing, the mission doesn't change, right? The mission can still be the same. And I would encourage people is, with your platform, in growing that, when you truly believe that you have been called to something specific, and I'll start by saying this, I think in the macro picture that every single person's purpose is the exact same. To love the Lord your God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love your neighbor as yourself. But in the micro purpose, we all have different. Like, some people are called to, be teachers, preachers, pastors. Some people are, called to so many different things, right? Some people are in business, some people are in sports. It's all different. But I believe that in the micro purpose, we can still, in whatever we're doing, we can still use that as our work, but also our worship. In the Old Testament, they had a word called avad, that there were several ways it could be translated. It could be translated work, but could also be translated worship. You see, there wasn't a difference in the Old Testament. It was so when someone would go to work and they would do it with all your heart, it would also be going to do it as unto the Lord, meaning that's also my worship. And today we get in so many situations where it's like, oh, no. Sunday I'm going to go to worship, but Monday I'm going to work. I just don't believe that. I think it's false. Whatever your hands finds to do, you do it with all your might. So on Sunday, yes, you can go to worship, but on Monday, when you go to work, it's still your worship. It's still an opportunity. It's still your platform to have ministry, to make a difference. Yes, it might not be at a pulpit. It might not be at a church. You might not be singing praise and worship, but you have just as much opportunity to create change, to love the Lord your God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So our work can also be our worship. And that's where I believe that every single person's platform has to start.
I love that you said that, because I'm curious what you're saying. I hope everybody understands the macro, because I completely buy into the macro. That's how I live my life. And God has allowed us to all go have a micro difference in micro different ways. Like, some people out there, Tim, are helping folks with relationships, or Bethany's helping young people, or other people are helping with marriages or business. Like, we need more successful business so that we can give back to incredible foundations like yours.
Right.
So
that is right.
I see the lead domino for you is your passion in the mission. Now, what are some other ways? That's the lead domino, but what are some other ways that have allowed you as a business owner and having an incredible foundation to build both of those? It leads with your mission and your passion, but what are some of the things that you do to get more attention, get more awareness? Because if you don't get attention or awareness, you can't help those who can't fight for themselves. You can't get the training centers into more people, you know? So what are some of those things kind of practically, tactically that you do to really promote those things?
Well, I think it's, you know, I heard you talk a lot about it, and I heard Bethany talk about it, and you talked a lot about passion. And I believe that passion is an awesome word, but I believe most of us have no idea what it means. And for most of my life, I had no idea what it meant. You know, passion is a 12th century Latin word that actually means to suffer. You see, they came up with the word when they looked at what Jesus did on the cross, and they said, wow, he had so much passion for people. He was willing to suffer for them. So when you say the passion of the Christ, it was because Jesus had so much love for us. He cared so much about us that he was willing to suffer for us. So when people say, like, oh, I'm passionate about school, or I'm passionate about my family, or I'm passionate about my work, or I'm passionate about my church, or I'm passionate about my nonprofit, that is only true if you are willing to suffer for it, period. If you're not passionate about it. You see, passion is very different than excitement, than motivation, than hype, right? I could be excited, I could be motivated, I could get hyped, but I get hit by a 300-pound lineman. Guess what? A lot of that excitement, motivation, and hype is gone. But the passion's still there because it's different, it's deep, it's real, it's something you're willing to suffer for. And for me, so much of my life I was passionate about sports. I truly was. I was willing to suffer for it. I was willing to give up so much. I was willing to give of my body, play with a broken leg. I was willing to give up of my time and wake up in the middle of the night to train because I knew nobody else would be doing that. And then I also, was willing to do that in finances of taking less in places so I could make a team or be part of something. And so I was willing to suffer for that. But at the end of the day, that was just a game. But you see, I learned something from my dad when I was 8 years old. He just got back from the Philippines, and he went and he got a movie from Blockbuster back when there were Blockbusters. And he sat me and my two brothers down on the couch, and he stood up in front of the TV and he said, "Boys, I just want you to know I love you so much. And I'm so proud of you. And I know you all have goals and you're ambitious and you want to accomplish things in your life." He said, "I feel like it's my job as your dad to give you an edge, to give you an advantage so that you're not like everybody else." He looked at us and he said, "In a moment, I'm going to hit play on this movie, and I want you to watch the main character. I want you to study him. Because if you're willing to love whatever it is that you want to do, like the man in this movie, you'll be different. You'll be contagious. People will want to be around you." He said, "Second, if you have passion like the man in this movie, you will be different. You will be contagious, and people will want to be around you. And third, if you're willing to sacrifice like the man in this movie, you will be different. You'll be contagious, and people will want to be around you." And then he sit down, and obviously I'm like salivating on the edge of the couch. Like, what movie did Dad pick? And then he hits play on the movie Braveheart. And yes, it was a little much for an 8-year-old. I'll give you that. My mom was mortified. She's like, "Bob, what are you showing the kids?" And he's like, "It's okay. They need to have courage, And so we watched this movie, and ever since then, it's been my favorite movie. And it wasn't just that night, but my dad would be dropping me off at practices or picking me up for games or day camps or church or Sunday school or whatever. And he would remind, "Hey, Timmy, you really love what you're doing?" I would say, "Yeah, Dad." He'd say, "You passionate about it?" "Dad, you know I am." "You willing to sacrifice?" "Come on, Dad, of course you know I am." You see, but why I say that is because then my dad would say, "How many people, Timmy, do you know that live that way? What if you lived that way, Timmy? How many people could you impact?" Because then he would look at us and multiple times say, "I don't know that many, but I want to be that." And my dad was that person and is that person that even with Parkinson's that he's been dealing with for so many years, still loves life. He still loves what he gets to do. He's so passionate about it. He's willing to sacrifice so much, and he has sacrificed so much. And because of that, so many people look at him and it's contagious. He say, I want to be like that. I want to be around that. And I'm sure for a lot of the viewers, and I want to ask you, how many people in your life, in your family, in your community, in your church live that way? Every day they wake up and they love what they get to do. They're passionate about it and they're willing to sacrifice. And I say that because imagine if that's you. Imagine if your church, your community, your friend group, your school, your team said that about you. How many people could you impact? And I say that about your platform because if you lived that way, if you loved that way, if you cared that way, if you showed up every day that way, I believe your platform is going to change because people are looking, they're going to say, dang it, I want that. I don't know how, I don't know why, but there's something about it that is so contagious. And there really is. And I bought into that and from my dad, and I haven't always probably executed that perfectly, but man, I want to, because I do believe in that. Life is too short and we need to choose the things that are really important, that have real matter and significance, but we need to love them. We need to love them with all our heart. We need to be passionate, meaning that we are willing to suffer for it. And we're willing to suffer for people. But then also, we got to go into it knowing that we're willing to sacrifice as well. And I think when we do that in an authentic, transparent, not overly holy, better than thou way, I think that is going to change our platform, because I think we live in a society, in a world that is looking, that when they see that, I think it's going to be so contagious that we're talking about a platform and followers and people that are going to buy in. I think they buy into that more so than anything else, right? There's a lot of things that you could be involved in that are all good. That's why I don't want to get into specifics of certain things, because there's so many good things. But I believe in these character qualities of loving what you do, of being passionate, being willing to sacrifice. And when you do that, I think that your platform and your ability to influence, I think it skyrockets, because I think we have a world of people that are going to say, wow, I want to be around that. I want to learn from that. I want to have that. And then I would also add to the platform that there's a lot of people with platforms, but why do you have a platform? And what are people looking at your platform for, right? There's some people that have platforms because people are watching just to be entertained. That's fine, but it's not that deep. There are some platforms that are just really funny. Well, it's a different form of entertainment, and it's a good thing. People need to laugh, but it's not necessarily that deep. There are some where people just, are intrigued with it. But does your platform take people to a different level? Do they learn something? Do they grow? Why are people buying into your platform? Why are people watching? Why do people want to know? What is it that is intriguing to other people about you or your platform? And I would encourage you, yes, it can be funny, it can be entertaining, it can be all those things. But if we don't take them to a deeper level, we're probably missing something.
Dude, I love that. We talked about 4 different types of platforms, those where people want likes and followers, and it's so shallow and it's all egotistical. The types that are just for entertainment, a lot like I mentioned, like the Paul brothers, like it's just entertainment and they want you to follow them. And then there's the people out there that are building platforms with negative, fearful, divisive messages that are tearing us apart versus building us up. But this whole week has been about the 4th type of platform, is how do you take people into deeper change, where the platform is bigger than yourself. It's for a purpose greater than yourself. And I don't know another person on the planet who demonstrates that more that I have, and I haven't even met you, bro, but I don't know somebody who demonstrates that more than you, which is why I'm so contagious to you. I want to follow you. And so, Dad, job well done for your 8-year-old boy. Job well done. You answer my question.
I appreciate that. I think I've missed the mark many times on that, but I just know that it's something that I'm trying for, that I'm striving for, because the mission is too important. But every single one of us has such an important mission. And, I love where the context of mission comes from. It actually means to be sent. And every one of us has a mission, which means we have been sent here for a reason, for a purpose, for a plan. We're not here by happenstance. We're not here by accident. There is an exact reason, purpose, and plan that we are here. You have been sent here for something incredible. And Ephesians 2:10 talks about in Christ Jesus, it is good works. And if the God of this universe calls it good works, I'm going to buy in and believe that it's good works. And every single one of us has that to do. They're all different, but they're all important. They're all so incredibly important. And I hope that when we leave here, we not only leave encouraged, but we leave inspired to go live out those good works. I know I'm going to leave inspired after listening to you, after listening to Bethany, to go fulfill out those good works and remember the mission that we have been sent of why we're here.
Dude, you answered your question about the website, about the life living. I love that Kim's website said it's more than football, more than speaking, more than business. It's living a life of significance. And so you just a minute ago answered that. I believe one of the things that we get caught up in is you wrote a book called Shaken, Discovering Your True Identity in the Midst of Life Storms. And we're going through life storms. People are going through life storms. You went through many storms in your life, and the book talks about those. Right now, with people going through so many difficult storms, can you give us the Cliff Notes version of what you would speak over them around this book? And I want to encourage everybody to go buy this book. Everybody go buy this book. But can you give us the Cliff Notes for everybody?
Well, listen, there are storms. The storms aren't going to end until Jesus comes back or we go home, right? I mean, I just had a friend who made this shirt actually this week that passed away from a motorcycle accident, right? There's storms all over the place. And you know, they're hard. Listen, just because we know Jesus doesn't mean the pain's not there. It just means that our identity doesn't come in the pain, doesn't have to last in the pain, but it can be the savior even through the pain. And our identity is found in who we were created to be and who we are in Jesus, not in what the world says or what the pain says or what the obstacles say. Because listen, for me, the world wouldn't want to make my identity as a football player, as a baseball player, as whatever they want to make it. But that's not my identity, because you know what? Even though I had some highs in sports, I also had some lows. So if my identity was in being a quarterback, what happens when I get cut? Or am I told by a lot of the world that I'm not good enough? Does my identity crumble? And sometimes it would feel like that. And, you know, when I wrote Shaken, you know, discovering your true identity in the midst of life storms, and I called the publisher and said, I want to name it Shaken. They were like, no. You mean unshaken, right? And I was like, no, I mean shaken, because it's not that in life, you know, that we're going through it and it's everything is, you know, going to be perfect and it's going to be super easy. And I wrote shaken because it's when everything around us feels like it is shaking, feels like, dang it, I'm literally in the middle of an earthquake, right? That's when we have a foundation in Christ of what we get to hold on to, of who we get to be, of who, not only who we are, but whose we are in him. And that is where we could hold firm, right? Even when everything else around us feels like it's all turmoil and it's so hard, is we know that firm foundation is never going to change. Jesus promised, I will never leave you or forsake you. I will be with you always, even to the end of the age, right? When we say yes to Jesus, we know he's already said yes to us, and he's never going to say no. You see, listen, when Jesus went to the cross, he knew that his dad, God the Father, was going to have to turn his back on him, because God is a holy God, and he has nothing to do with sin. So when Jesus was on the cross, God the Father had to turn his back on him. But why Jesus knew that is because he also knew that God was turning his back on him, so he would never have to turn his back on us. So why we can have a firm foundation is we know in this life that our Savior, that our Heavenly Father never turns his back on us, even in the midst of the hard times, even in the midst when we screw up, even in the midst when I fall short, and I do it all the time. God's never leaving us. He's never turning his back on us. He's never saying, oh, you screwed up enough. Here, I'll see you later. That's not the case. That's not the case, because what Jesus did on the cross, it counted for all of us. For all time, of all the screw ups, of all the sin, of all time, period. And we get to live in that free grace that only comes through what Jesus did on the cross. And so we don't have to live in that shame. We don't have to live in the identity of, man, I screwed up, or man, the world says I'm not enough, or the world is going to criticize me, or the world is going to say you need to follow this path. No, because that's not where we can find true identity. It's where we sometimes want to find identity. Man, sometimes it feels good if you find an identity and you win a few championships and have some awards and accolades. It's like, man, that identity feels good until it doesn't. Until the world says, that's not your identity anymore. We used to like you, but you suck now, right? Or you used to be successful in our eyes, but now you're not good enough. Now you're washed up, right? That's never the case in God's eyes. Never the case. Listen, you were created in love, you are loved, and you will always be loved, period. And why you can live a life of an identity in Christ that is going to hold firm is because that love for you will never change, even when everything else around you feels like it's shaken.
Wow.
That's never going to change. That's our identity, and we could hold firm in that.
Dude, I love that. Oh my gosh. God, help navigate me here. There's some questions you gave me that are so important, Father, that I want people to hear, and that was one of them. I'm just discerning right now because I know we got about 11 minutes and we still got to go backstage for a few minutes for those who've already donated to charity. So I'm navigating here, Tim. Wow.
Dude, I don't care. I'll do whatever you want, bro.
Oh, well, thank you, dude. Dude, you know one of the things I hate, and this, let's just piggyback off of what you said. I hated reading articles that said this: love him or hate him. I was so frustrated to read that in so many articles in my research. Like, that was like a common theme. But the article would always come back to the great work that you're doing in this world. Every one of them would come back to the great work that you're doing in this world. Everybody here has naysayers, bro. Love them or hate them. Like, they have that. I know you kind of just spoke to that about identity being a big piece of that. Is there anything, like, I was pissed, bro, like, real talk. I was like, why does it say that? Like, it made me mad. And I think Dina said that was a question that she loved that I had articulated. But if you do anything good in this world, bro, your pops told you this, like, you're going to have naysayers. What would you say to all the people out there that have naysayers? I have them, bro. I mean, people have them.
Yeah.
It hurts. It still hurts, you know?
There's no doubt. I'm such a people pleaser that sometimes it really hurts. And I think sometimes, you know, if I'm not careful, it can be crippling. You know, it can be almost stifling, especially when it comes from when you think people are on your side, from churches or believers or pastors. And you're like, oh, I thought we were on the same team. And that can feel like daggers. And it really can. And how I encourage people is still going back to John, where Jesus says, for in me you have peace. Listen, guys, we're not promised peace in this world. We're promised peace in a person, and that person is Jesus. And we're not even promised peace on our own teams. We're not even promised peace in the church. We're not even promised peace in worship services. It's peace in Jesus. And I would encourage you, just like I would encourage myself, because honestly, I still find it so difficult and so hard to maneuver this, especially when I feel like when we're on the same team. It is so hard. It really is. But what I would say is, I would encourage you to keep fighting, to keep going, because our time here is so short. But eternity is so long. And I think so many times why criticism hurts is because we feel like the criticism is going to stop us from being successful to what we want to get to. And I feel like success is a fine thing. It can even be a good thing sometimes, but not when it's the only thing. Listen, there's never been a day I've woke up and I thought, you know what? Today's a good day to lose. No, I always want to be successful. I want to crush it. Every game I played, I want to win. Not only want to win, I want to dominate. Every company I've been a part of, I want to dominate. I want to do good. but more than being successful, I want to be significant. And significance comes in investing in other people. I believe success comes in investing in yourself. See, success is about us. Significance is about other people. I want to have a life of significance. Yeah, some days I still want to have a life of success, but more than being successful, I want to be significant. And so I want to have a life that's focused on other people. And so why I say that is because when we get the criticism, when we get the hate, when we have the naysayers, it's like, okay, even in the midst of that, when it might hurt what I think could stop me from being successful, I still get to choose, like we're going back to the beginning, choose the best interest of other people and act on their behalf. I want to choose to love them anyways.
Wow. I
want to choose to help them anyways. I want to choose to fight for them anyways. I want to choose to try to be significant more than being successful. Yeah. You know, one of my favorite stories that I've heard is the founder of Publix. Publix it's like a southern chain of like a Whole Foods, and I love it. We always grew up shopping there because they're one of the only main grocers that employ a bunch of people with special needs, and it's awesome, and I love them. But their founder, George Jenkins, was a man that was known for giving and caring and loving people. And on his deathbed, George Jenkins let one journalist that's been asking to interview him for a while come to his deathbed and do an interview. And this guy was asking him all these questions about finance because George Jenkins was very successful. And he asked him all these questions, and he finally said, "Mr. Jenkins, I have one more question for you. Mr. Jenkins, if you wouldn't have given away so much money, how much would you be worth?" And Mr. Jenkins looked at the young man and said, "Son, probably nothing."
Wow.
Because he understood the difference between success and significance. And listen, George Jenkins was super successful, but more importantly, he was significant. And his impact is still impacting the world to this day. How many people's lives is different because he was willing to say, you know what, even when other people will hire people with special needs, we'll do it. And we'll have a mandate for doing it. And you know what, even when other people say, you know, I should probably hold on to this money, but you know what, guess what? You don't ever see U-Hauls following a hearse. It doesn't happen. But you know what, because he gave so much, thousands, tens and thousands of lives are changed because of his generosity, right? He lived a life for eternity, not for the here and now. Wow. And that's where the difference between success and significance happens is, you know what? A lot of people are successful now, but I want to be significant now and for eternity. And I hope that when we leave here, we say, you know what? I want to have a mindset that's focused on eternity, which is going to be focused on other people because people are going to last forever. But we get to have an impact on where. So let's focus on other people, on our eternity, on their eternity, on where we're going to spend it, on loving them, on impacting them, so that, yes, we can build our platform to be successful, but more importantly, we can build our platform to be significant and impact other people.
It's unbelievable. I just want you to talk about this. I got 2 questions after this, but I want you to talk about the work you guys are doing in the foundation, because I've been obsessing over the website and asking Dina a lot of questions about it and like just blown away by the work. You're fighting for people who can't fight for themselves the same way the man you just talked about is. Can you just let everybody know about what the Tebow Foundation is up to?
Yeah, well, it's really the inspiration was when I was 15 years old. I met a boy in the jungles of the Philippines who was born with his feet on backwards. He was viewed as cursed, who was really viewed as a throwaway. And I knew he wasn't a throwaway to God, and God impacted my heart that day. And I knew my micro mission was to fight for people that can't fight for themselves. And so our mission statement is to bring faith, hope, and love to those needing a brighter day in their darkest hour of need. But to sum it up, like you said, it's a fight for people that can't fight for themselves. And so now we're doing that in 65 countries around the world, with hospitals, with orphanages, with special needs ministries, with special needs schools, with campuses for girls who have been human trafficked, with campuses for kids with special needs, rescuing girls and boys sometimes who have been in this, what we believe is one of the greatest forms of evil in the world today, and that is this awful world of human trafficking. And so, listen, whatever God calls us to, it's our mission specifically to fight for people that are the least, that are the lost, that other people have looked past or forgotten, because we don't believe anybody in God's eyes is looked past or forgotten. We believe every single person. Listen, our 5 non-negotiables and why we came up with this, so we don't have mission drift. Number 1 is we're believers. We're believers in God. We're believers. We're here for a reason. We're believers in his son, Jesus. And we're believers that we can have change. We're believers that we can make an impact. Number 2 is that everyone's an image bearer. We don't get to play God, we get to serve God. And we believe he says everyone's an image bearer. And so you know what, we're going to fight for every single person. Number 3 is that we're on a rescue mission, right? A rescue mission means there's urgency. When's the last time you heard of a rescue mission that's taken place in a year? No, rescue mission means now, right? Because we're not living on our timeline, we're living on their timeline. If we don't act, there will be a lot of people that aren't free tomorrow, that don't have food tomorrow, that won't have life tomorrow. That's why we got to act now. We're living on their timeline. Number 4 is there's power when we come together. There's power when all these people on this call come together. That there's power. We believe that's what the church is supposed to do. Not fight about denominations, about banners of this nonprofit or this denomination. No, there's one banner that we want to fly. That's a banner of Jesus. And if there was a second, it's a banner of people, period. So we believe there's power when we come together. So we believe in partnership. And number 5, we believe that we can never forget. We believe one of the biggest problems in the church and the nonprofit world is we forget all of the times that God has come through. In Hebrews, in the book of Hebrews, so many times the book says, remember or do not forget. It's like 19 or 20 times, I believe it says that, right? Because it was so easy, even though they were brought to freedom, they could still forget all the things that God has done. We can't forget the cross. We can't forget when God impacted our lives. I can't forget when he changed my heart. I can't forget when he led me from darkness to light. We got to remember that, because when we remember that, when that's our perspective, then we're also going to remember he's going to come through again. Right? We're co-laborers with him, but he does the hard part, but we got to keep working, right? So we can never forget. So I would encourage everybody that's listening is come up with your own non-negotiables for your life, for your family, for your business, for your company, for your platform, of things that you are not willing to negotiate on. And for us, we're not willing to negotiate on being believers on what Jesus did. We're not willing to negotiate that everybody matters. We're not willing to negotiate on our timeline that it's a rescue mission. We're not willing to negotiate that there's power when we come together, because we believe that's biblical. And we're not willing to negotiate on all the ways that God has come through, and we can't forget that.
Dude, I am telling you, like today will change me forever. Like, man, I'm ready to storm these curtains right here. My son's backstage listening to this, and it means the world to me. 2 questions that I felt like will bring the full circle to the wrap. The impact you have created in this world is so profound. And I need to look at the camera and the people right now. Tebowing, and you think I'm joking, is an actual word in the dictionary. The Tebow rule was passed. The Tebow law was passed. Do you realize that a rule was created to allow homeschoolers to be able to play football and sports? Do you realize that I think, if I'm right, this is the only homeschooler to ever win the Heisman Trophy in the history of the Heisman Trophy? A rule was created because of a stand that they were able to take in him playing as a homeschooler. A law was made because of the things, the little black things that he would put underneath his eyes that would have scripture taking a stand for his message that he wanted to represent to the world. There was a law passed. A law passed, a rule made, a freaking word in the dictionary. Do you realize all of the exposure of the good that does for the message that he is representing in this world? Man, dude, I was blown away. I was blown away, and I have a question that follows that up. But what would you say to everyone that is trying to make that type of deep impact in their worlds, Tim? It could be the less fortunate. It could be couples. It could be burnt out pastors. It could be kids. Like, how do you begin to create that type of depth in impact?
I would say the first thing that pops into my brain is it's not about how equipped or your ability. It's not about my ability or how equipped I am. The first story that comes to my brain is John 6, 5 through 14, when Jesus is feeding the 5,000, and the Bible calls him a lad. We don't know how old he was, the boy that gave the fish and the bread, but we believe he was probably a young boy, 10, 11, 12 years of age. Who knows? The Bible calls him a lad, but we know that he woke up one day and his mom probably packed him a lunchbox, and he goes to follow this crowd, which actually we believe is probably between 10 and 15,000 people, because the Bible just mentions men, but there would have been women and children. Obviously, this boy was a child, and they go follow this guy named Jesus who's been performing all of these miracles, and they're watching, and probably when the boy woke up, he probably thought, man, like today, how cool would it be? Like, Pete, how cool would it be if I got to see a miracle, right? That would be really awesome. Like, I've heard stories of this guy named Jesus, and he's performed miracles. Maybe I'll get to see one. But I doubt when he woke up, he thought, man, today I might get to be part of one. And how often is that our lives, right? Is we like, man, God, I want to see a miracle. And I feel like when we're that boy and we take whatever God has given us, which is maybe those loaves, maybe those fish, and we do what the boy did, and we're like, hey, when Jesus is asking for this, or the disciples are asking for this, like, we're just willing to give. Like, I don't have a lot, and a lot of scholars believe that boy, because of the type of bread that he had, that he was from a poor area, and so he probably didn't have a lot, and he probably walked a long way, but he was like, man, if Jesus and the disciples, because there's something special about them, if they're asking for it, it's probably worth giving. And I want to encourage you that it's worth giving what you have to Jesus. And when we give to him, it's never what we think. When we give what we have to Jesus, it's never just a couple of loaves or a few fish. No, because we're giving it to the miracle maker, right? And he can take and do the same thing that he did with that boy, right? That boy gave a couple loaves and some fish, and God turned it into feeding 10 to 15,000 people, but not only 10 to 15,000, but like he always does, it was more than enough. There was leftovers, because that's what our God does. There's more than enough, right? And it's not because what the boy had to give, it's that the boy gave, right? And when you give whatever it is that you have, God can do the same, right? You see, this is why I love asking people, do you think the miracle would have changed if the boy had double? If he had 10 loaves, 20 fish, 100 loaves, 500 fish. And see, in our eyes, the miracle would have changed. Wow, God could have done more. But in God's eyes, he's like, dude, no, I can do whatever with whatever. Well, he's not asking for more than what you have. He's not asking for you to say, oh, I'll wait till you have double the fish and double the loaves. He's saying, no, whatever you have, it's what I've given you, and all I want you to do is what the boy did. Just hand that back to me. Just be willing to give it to me, and watch what I do. Because the miracle doesn't come because we're awesome. No, we're screw-ups. The miracle comes because the miracle maker, because we put it in his hands. And so I'd encourage you, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, give it to the Lord and say, God, I just want to be used by you. I don't know where, I don't know when, I don't know how. I just want to be used by you. So today or this week, would you just use me? But be willing to give. Be willing to say something. Be willing to put your arm around somebody. Be willing to love someone. Be willing to be different. Because I believe God's not looking for perfect people. He's looking for willing people. People that are willing to be different. People that are willing to stand on the line. One of my favorite definitions of boldness is being willing to put it on the line to do what is necessary. You know what, guys? I've been willing to put it on the line so much in my life for sports. But the important question is, have I ever been willing to put it on the line for Jesus? I don't know, but I hope if I ever had to, I would be willing to do that. To put it on the line, to do what is necessary.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Tim, I promised the people backstage that we do one question, and these are the people who've donated to the charities. But this is the question that I have to end with today for the front stagers. So I just got one question backstage for you in a minute. But man, this has been unbelievable. There are so many messages in this world, and this makes me want to stand up because I did not know this. Many of them negative, fearful, divisive, many of them egotistical and all about themselves. But the people who are left here on day 7, this is the 7th day we've done this, 3.5 hours every day, except today was a little shorter. I think of the fact of the impact that these people want to make on their message, and the story that comes up for me is that when Tim was in the January 2009 BCS championship game, he wore John 3:16 underneath both eyes. And that next 24 hours, 90 million searches, 90 million people searched John 3:16 to understand the meaning behind that. What would you say to everyone that has a message that can go deeper to change somebody's life, how they stand out to get the eyeballs in this busy, noisy, hurting world to get people to search for their message, Tim? Like, what are the final thoughts that you would say to these messages that want to make a difference, but they've got to get noticed in a busy and hurting world?
We have no idea when God's going to do something cool like that, right? That, when God's going to magnify something. It was a few months earlier, we were getting ready for a game, and I just saw some of my teammates putting eye blacks under their eyes, and I just thought, you know what? I wonder if I could put an eye black under my eyes and maybe put something under there that could be encouraging or inspiring. And so I was like, whoa, Philippians 4:13. Make a long story short, a few months later for the national championship, I thought, man, how cool would John 3:16 be as the essence of Christianity, the essence of our hope? For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. I just put that in my eyes, and I didn't, honestly, I really didn't even have big dreams for it. I thought, man, maybe with someone binoculars, they'll be able to look and see it, on my face, and maybe it could encourage someone. But that's just what our God does. He's like, hey, you know what? You were willing to do something, be a little bit different, but he could magnify it. Right. And he took that and had over 94 million people Google it and had it on the cover of Sports Illustrated, where the main thing you would see is John 3:16. And what was so cool about that is that was on January 8th of 2009. Well, exactly 3 years later, on January 8th, exactly 3 years later to the night, I was playing for the Denver Broncos. We just happened to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the playoffs, and we won a crazy overtime game. And after the game, I go into the locker room and I change. I'm getting ready to go on the press conference, and our PR guy stops and he says, Timmy, do you realize what happened? And I was like, yeah, we just beat the Patriots, or we just beat the Steelers. We're going to play the Patriots. And he's like, no, you don't realize what happened. I said, Patrick, what happened? He said, no, Timmy, this is exactly 3 years from the night that you wore John 3:16 in your eyes. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really cool. That's awesome. He said, no, you don't realize what happened. Timmy, tonight you threw 316 yards. Timmy, tonight, your yards per rush were 3.16. Your yards per completion were 31.6. The time of possession was 31.6. And the ratings for the night were 31.6. And tonight, over 90 million people have Googled John 3:16. It's the number one trending thing all around the world. And you know what? I remember standing in that hallway, and the first thing that I felt wasn't praise, wasn't celebration, it was shame. It really was, because you know what? I know in my head and my heart that night was about trying to prove the doubters, the naysayers wrong about being successful in the NFL. And God was reminding me, hey, I didn't put you here to try to be successful in the NFL. I put you here to love people and to tell them about me. And I'm going to use something that you did 3.5 years ago and then change it 3 years ago to this night. And, you forgot about that, which I did. I was like, God, that's cool, but it's got to be done, right? He said, no, you have no idea what I'm doing. You have no idea. And I didn't. I had no idea. But that's how our God works. Like, we have no idea when we step out and we just do something little for him, how he can be working all this stuff. I had no idea that was 3 nights from the night award. I had no idea what he's doing during the game. But man, how cool it is when you just get to have a little picture of just how God weaves it together and how cool it was. And man, I remember that night, God convicting my heart and just saying, hey, I didn't put you here for a game. It's never just about a game. It's always more than a game will ever be. And I'm so grateful for that night, because it reminded me about what perspective really means.
Dude,
and I would encourage every single person that it's not about your platform. It's about giving what you have to God, and he will increase or he will decrease, but it's his plan. And whatever you have, when you put it in his hands, he'll do whatever he wants. And that might be awesome in your eyes. It might not be good in your eyes, but it will be the best. It will be the most impactful. It will be the most significant. It will be the best thing for you and for his glory. Whether that's increasing your platform or it might be going through tough times. But you know what? He can use it. He can work with it. He's the miracle maker. And so it might be giving your loaves. It might be giving your bread. It might be putting eye black under your eyes. Whatever it is worth it when you give it to him.
Dude, I love that. This is what I want to do, and I promise we'll get backstage fast. Guys, I'm trying to listen to what God's telling me right now, and I thought, I've been researching his charity a lot, and I thought, man, it'd be really cool to give $15,000 back today because that was his football number. But I clearly hear the voice, and you got to listen to that voice because the voice inside is the voice that gives you the ideas that are greater than any idea that you can ever come up with in building your platform. Every time I try to rely on my ideas, they fail. Every time I listen to that voice inside, give me the idea, it's not only successful, it's significant. And so I had my idea coming in here. But based on closing that story, I don't want to give him $316, but I want to give the Tebow Foundation $31,600 to represent him taking that stand with those blacks of 316. We're just going to add a couple of zeros to it. And you can count on, and I've got my blessing from my wife, you can count on this is just the beginning of what we're going to do to seed back and contribute to an amazing foundation and organization. And so that is outside of the groups that we already had coming into this week. Tim, that is the biggest contribution that we've made this week, and I feel it, and I'm wrestling with it, but we'd like to give back $31,600 to the Tebow Foundation today.
That is unbelievably generous and kind, and really not needed. That's not why I'm here, but I do want to say thank you for your heart and your passion and your compassion for people, your love for people. And it is contagious. I can see it. I can feel it. And I want to say thank you because it's been inspiring me today. So thank you so much. And thank you for that super, super generous gift.
It will be the first of much to come. I'm just going to do one question backstage. I'm going to wrap up the front stage. But I feel like if you're okay, will you pray for these messages that are represented here today?
You kidding? Of course. Let's do it. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, we love you. We thank you that we get to call upon you and you hear us and you love us and you will never leave us or forsake us. We're so grateful that what you did on the cross, it counted for us. And when we say yes to that we go from darkness to light, that we are adopted into the family of God and we have a home in heaven and that we never have to question that. You don't make it about our works, but it's about the work of a cross. And we're so grateful for that. But we do know that we are here on a mission. And we do know that that mission is possible because of you. And I pray for every single person watching and listening that you would make it clear exactly what their mission is. And that it is possible because you make it possible. I pray that all of us would leave ready to take on the challenge of that mission because it can be very challenging and very hard. But we also have to remember it's not based on our talent or our skill set or how equipped we are, because we're not the ones that have to win the day. It's what you already did. We just need to keep fighting the battle, keep loving people, keep encouraging people, keep helping people, keep lifting up people, keep telling people your story and how your story changed our story for eternity. Let us get out of the way. Let our lives not be about our story, but about your story. Because your story is the greatest story of all time. That your message is the greatest message of all time. We are so grateful for how you've loved us and that it will never stop. We ask that you would help us make the choice to love people well, to love people with a passion that is willing to suffer for them because you suffered for us, and that it will be worth it. We love you so much, and we give all of it to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I promise we'll be backstage quickly, Tim. Can I start calling you Timmy? Is that all right, Timmy? I like.
Hey, listen, the media's the one that just started calling me Tim. Everybody really knows me calls me Timmy, so do it.
I tell Dean, I can't wait till I can call him Timmy too, but I consider this the start of a friendship, and I'm just so grateful to have you. I promise we'll be backstage in just 1 minute or 2 minutes. We got one question that I promised my son. My son will be bringing the one question.
Awesome, brother.
So we'll be right back there. Hey guys, will y'all give some love to Mr. Tim Tebow, please? Like, I can't tell you how impactful that was for me. I am a different person today because of that interview. I will be different as I walk out of here. Things won't look the same. I can tell you that. As we go, and guys, if we can bring this up, I just want you to know this. Like the definition of a platform, and this thing, my definition of a platform is taking a stand to build a platform for something greater than yourself. And you get the impact in the world, and the income and the resources will always take care of themselves. Zig Ziglar said, you help enough people get what they want, you'll always have the things that you need. The successes will be there when you think about the significance. And so, listen, I want you to know, like, this week has been all about, my wife told me, I said, babe, what is it in me last night? What is it? I was wrestling, I was struggling. It's been a roller coaster of a week for me, like real talk. And I said, what is the gifting that God has called me to do? She said, Pete, you see things in people. You see the greatness in people and the impact that they can have in this world, and you call it out in them. And so professionally speaking, that is the micro mission that I'm on, is to call greatness out of people, because then we have an army of people making an impact in this world. But I would be doing you an injustice if I didn't tell you, when I was 15 years old, my best friend didn't just start by sharing Philippians 4:13 with me. I was on the tennis court. I was a collegiate tennis player, and I kept dropping GD, which is a word that I cannot stand. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. But I was dropping it every time I'd miss a shot. And my best friend said, Pete, why don't you start replacing it with Philippians 4:13? I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So I knew that it bothered him. And so I chose to replace my words and started saying that. And all of a sudden I saw my tennis get better. But then a couple of months later, the same friend who shared that with me shared John 3:16 with me. And he told me what Jesus Christ had come to do on this earth for me. All of my hurt, all of my pain, all of my brokenness was covered by what he had done for me. And in my best friend's home in Hereford, Texas, I got down on my knees and I said, I need that love. I need that love. And I made that decision when I was 14 or 15 years old. That's a piece I don't share all of the time publicly, but I need you to hear that today. I live by the two missions that Tim Tebow talked about today: loving God and loving people in a way of agape. Not emotion, not phileo, but in agape. And so I want you to know my life is better because of that relationship. And if that is a relationship that you feel like, man, Pete, I need, man, drop me a DM. I'll reach out to you. Last year, I sent everybody who dropped me a DM, I sent them a Bible. I sent them a book called The Purpose-Driven Life. And if you feel like that's something you need in your life today, you just got to ask and receive it. And thank God for rescuing us, all of us, from our sin and our past and our hurt and our pain, and providing a love that can never be taken away. And so I'm saying that because this is the platform that God has given me. And 1 to 2 times a year is when I feel called to share that, and I'm sharing that today. So just ask him into your life. And if that's you, DM me on Instagram, on Facebook, and give me your address. And I will send the Bible and I will send the purpose-driven life to you. You can count on that. Now, Tim said something, and I promise I'm gonna close. But my mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs, 1 million entrepreneurs build purposeful platforms to impact 1 million different problems going in our world on impacting 1 billion people. That is what I'm committed to. That is the micro mission that God has placed in my heart, to help entrepreneurs, individuals, nonprofits, organizations grow a purposeful platform. And that's what this week has been all about. And these are messages from our last event, of every message that people are taking a stand for that is greater than themselves. And on November 12th, not only that day will we give out all of the checks to charities, including the Tebow Foundation, $31,600. That is what I heard in my heart today. But we will also have you make a commitment that day on the message that you stand for, that you are taking into this world on your micro mission. We want to help you build your platform so you can control the microphone and change our world. That's what we are committed to doing. So yesterday's homework assignment, thank you. I'm going to tell you your homework assignment today, and it might be the most important one. Sean Griffith, congratulations on winning yesterday's homework assignment in the Facebook group. Marlena Velez, Claudia M., thank you for doing the work and putting yourself in the arena to step up. Now, this is what I want to know today. What is the purposeful micro mission that God is putting in your heart on this earth? And what are you doing to give him what you have so that he can multiply it and impact a lot of people through it? I want you to write that, or better yet, put a video in the group. And the one that's most impactful, I'll make sure I get it in the hands of Tim's team so he can see it and get it to him so he can see it. I'm going to be buying a Tim Tebow jersey with an autograph of Tim Tebow for tomorrow's winner. I will be sending that to you in the mail. And then we'll also be giving some Apple Watches and some other things as well. So do that homework. I will go watch every single one of them today. Day 7 homework. Tag it hashtag day 7 homework so I can watch them all. Guys, I'm going to close this out. You guys know this. This is what is allowing us, our speakers donating all of this stuff is what is allowing us to hopefully give back $1 million of profits to charities that are making a difference. And today I'm so excited to be giving and contributing to the Tebow Foundation. My wife and I are both excited about it. And so I want to encourage you tonight, these do go up $100 each. And this is the last thing I want to say. Tomorrow is our final day. Our final day. We've got 10 powerful speakers tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. We're starting it off with Amy Purdy and ending it with Nick Santo. All about you and taking care of you and yourself. It's going to be a little bit longer day tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'd block 3.5 hours. Tomorrow is that final day. And then Tuesday, we will do a recap of the entire week. A recap in 60 minutes on Tuesday. Platformtourcares.com. Get your homework done and tag somebody to watch today, because Daniel, Bethany, and Tim, thank you for an incredible day. We'll see you guys tomorrow.